at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Howdy, folks. Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Zzz, blip. Did you know there's some fun open water fishing to be had this time of year? There is. In our cold water, northern and western Nebraska trout streams, wonderful spring-fed waters support mainly rainbow and brown trout, and you could even work on your Trout Slam Challenge in those. Get more details at outdoornebraska.org. That's outdoornebraska.org. Turning to the state parks, there's nature to experience. The playgrounds, campgrounds, and trails are all open, and be sure to check out the naturalist programs at state parks as well. For spring wild turkey hunting this year here in Nebraska, hunters, take note, there are some major changes because of lower bird numbers. See us at the Game and Parks Commission for more information. That'll wrap it up for now. I'm Greg Wagner with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced to another victim to the crossover. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover. Josh and Ravi are here.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Are you guys ready for the Royals to start spring training in 2 minutes?
Oh, is that what's going on in here?
I don't think
they're
they're
actually football game we could watch.
I don't think they're actually on TV. They're playing they're playing a Florida A&M versus Southern baseball game on MLB Network right now.
Ugh.
So you could change that for sure.
Can't we watch a random Browns?
Yeah, the Browns
Definitely.
Jets game.
Browns Jets.
Browns
are from Cleveland.
Yeah, Browns versus Cleveland.
I meant
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh, man, what a game.
The Browns of Cleveland.
The Browns.
Nick, how many of the NFL teams do you think you could name?
Whoa.
I could name all of them.
You think you can name all 32?
Yeah.
Ooh, there is a game on in an hour, September 12th. That was the first day of the season. Please don't be Cowboys and Bucks.
Browns
could do,
Cleveland. That was just me getting tongue-tied.
Broncos Seahawks. Oh,
The Russ game.
of all the
Love
days.
yeah.
I wonder if they read the
Let's
athletic
ride.
story.
They probably did.
And they were like, let's put this
Let's
game
put
on
it on TV.
Let's ride.
It's topical.
It is topical.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you should do like a Sporkle. You've ever done a Sporkle?
I love Sporkle.
What's a sporkle?
A Sporkle is
Sporkle's
just a quiz.
incredible.
And they basically ask you how many things you can name.
Let's see if I can.
30-second period.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. NFL teams quiz. I mean, I know them all, so I don't even know why I opened.
I could do this. This is
Okay.
easy.
Well,
You
here,
can do it.
I'm gonna Nick. I'm gonna DM you. I'm gonna DM you the Sporkle.
You do the
Okay.
Sporkle during the crossover.
Yeah,
We'll
this
see how you do.
will be great content. I just sent it to you.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
because they have it divided in the divisions, so which is helpful, I think, for someone like Nick, because that's
maybe
that you can
The
talk.
division
yourself-
thing might trip me up just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Slow 'em
I
down.
figured
We'll
it
see.
would help me. Okay, do you have the link open?
I need to get into my Twitter first.
All right. Well, we'll get
It's
into
all right. We'll just take
We'll get
time.
there.
It's fine.
Vibe it out.
Could
It's
you
fine.
name all the hockey teams, Happer?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No, I certainly can't.
I don't think. How many are there?
32
No idea.
now?
I know one of them is the
I
Kraken.
bet it would take.
How
It would
many
take me a while. I
NHL?
bet I
There
could
are
get
32.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't.
Send me a Sporkle on that one.
Who is the 31st team?
Is it the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Probably the Winnipeg Jets.
So wait, did they have a? Oh,
What was that team from Vegas?
Oh,
The Vegas
them.
Golden
Good
Knights.
call, Nick.
Golden
Look
Knights.
at you. So that's 31, and then the
Yeah.
Kraken are 32.
Oh, the Kraken.
Yeah,
The Kraken.
See, now I
yeah.
don't know which ones are gone now. Like
See, that's where I get a little
the
confused.
Atlanta Thrashers, I think, are no longer right. Didn't they? They're the ones who moved back to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
No, they're gone. Yeah, they're gone.
So
But the
Thrashers
Nashville
are dead.
Predators,
The Predators
are still there.
Yep.
The Sabres are still there.
The Coyotes are still there. Or are they the Coyotes?
They're the Coyotes, I think.
Because the Coyotes are
They,
up
they
there.
Sure.
used to be the Phoenix Coyotes. Now they're the Arizona Coyotes.
I've been to one of their games.
I'm
Me
about
too.
to Sporkle.
Nice. All right. You ready, Nick? You click
Yep.
the start button.
Not yet. I was
No Googles.
no Google.
No Googles.
That's cheating. Don't
right.
cheat.
Hitting play quiz. The divisions are gonna screw me up.
Well,
Just
just
go.
type the
Just
teams
type,
you know.
just type
Nick.
them in.
Yeah.
It'll fill in the divisions
It'll fill
for
it in
you.
automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to go by division.
Yeah.
It'll just
Have you clicked start?
Not yet.
so just start typing teams and it'll put it in the
He's like
proper
trying
divisions.
to study it.
Oh,
before
will
he
it?
Goes.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll put him in the right division.
Yeah, I just and Nick, you don't have to type the full name. So I wrote this team. I wrote the Cowboys, and you don't have to even write
Don't
Dallas.
give him freebies.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, start this thing.
Go,
Nick.
go,
Start
go,
it.
go, go.
No
All right,
pressure.
who are you starting with?
No, Don't
We don't have to do
no.
play by
We don't need.
Just let him go.
I thought we were doing play by
No,
play.
we just want to see how many he gets.
Just
So
let
we're
him
just
live.
going to keep talking while he does
Yes.
this?
Yeah, we'll just
Okay.
continue to
Just
have
let him
our,
live.
our crossover.
Okay. You
Hopefully
can name
this
all
is
the
done in
baseball teams.
3 to 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah,
baseball
I'll name it.
teams.
And
yeah.
obviously,
Divisions
NBA
in that
would be
one
easy.
actually make it easier.
Yes, divisions in baseball make it dramatically easier.
NBA
Basketball
teams,
divisions
easy.
mean nothing.
Yeah, I don't even know what divisions any of the teams
I don't know what
are
division
in.
my favorite team's in.
Well,
Conferences are very helpful in basketball.
Conference easy.
Divisions are not.
So in the NBA now, there's
there
in the
I
I
West,
don't even think I can
what is
name
it, like
the
the
divisions.
Pacific and then like the Northwest?
One of them is definitely the Pacific. I don't know the names of the divisions
Like,
in
what's
basketball.
Aren't there 4 in each conference?
I thought there were 3 or 3.
I have no idea.
What's the division that the Mavericks are in?
I got it.
South? The
What it is,
West?
the
The
we-
Southwest?
Western
Is it
South?
Southwest,
Southwest.
Pacific, and Northwest?
No, Northwest doesn't seem real. I feel like that one's wrong.
Divisions in basketball don't seem real.
And so they should just have conferences.
Yeah, I don't understand the
Is
point.
it to give them like a dumb trophy?
I don't think so. I think it's scheduling.
Odd.
I think
So
that schedules differently.
The NBA in the Eastern Conference has the Atlantic.
That's what
I knew
Odson
that
just said
one.
on.
the Central
I wouldn't have known that.
Okay.
That's probably like Indiana and Chicago, I guess.
and the Southeast.
So that's like Atlanta and
Orlando.
Charlotte.
Charlotte,
Miami.
Not Memphis though, because they're in the West, which is so funny.
Okay. And
Yep.
then the
Obviously.
Western Conference
All right, so-
has the Southwest,
Okay, nailed it.
which would
Pacific,
be Dallas, Houston,
San
San
Antonio.
Antonio.
San Antonio,
Phoenix?
New Orleans.
Phoenix?
New Orleans. not
Oh, and
Phoenix.
Memphis.
Oh,
And Memphis,
yeah,
Memphis.
Memphis, sure.
The Western Conference also is the home of the Northwest
Nailed it.
division.
Northwest.
Which
Yes.
can include Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Portland, Utah,
Denver,
and Golden
famous
State.
Northwest.
Oh, and LA Clippers.
Wait, Golden State's in the Northwest?
No, I'm sorry. Golden State's in the
They're in the
Pacific.
Pacific.
Thank you. I was
with
gonna
the
say.
Lakers and
Final
the
division.
Clippers.
Yeah, it's like all the California
Kings?
teams are in the Pacific.
Plus
Kings.
plus the
Phoenix.
Phoenix Suns.
Plus Phoenix.
Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
No Kevin Durant, by the way. Not yet. Nick, how's it going over there for you?
23 out of 32.
Nice.
How much time we got
Whoa,
left?
He's gonna get this.
3.5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
he'll
he's going to get it.
He'll get
All right, Nick. Yeah, keep studying. Good work. Look at Nick. When he became our producer,
I know he's such
Nick
a sports boy now.
he knew nothing about anything.
I knew a few things.
He just was like Formula One.
Didn't you guys like force him to be a Dolphins guy?
No, we decided to do a bit before the.
No, you like
2020
helped him choose a team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you want to know what's funny is so this is before the 2021 season. At the very end, he was down to the Dolphins or the Bengals. He could have had a team in the Super Bowl.
Oh, he could have had Joey
He could
Burrow.
have Joe Burrow.
I don't
Bengals-
like Joe Burrow.
Bengals would
He
have been a
hates
good
Joe
pick.
Burrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That's probably
that's a good
resentment.
take actually.
That's not a good
Whoa,
take.
Out on Burrow?
I don't like his vibe. He
I
seems
just-
like a bad person.
No, he's not a bad.
Probably
person.
a good person, but I would hate.
Nick,
being
I think
around
you
him.
would
Burrow-
love him in terms of his politics. He's a great human being.
Is he?
Oh my gosh, he's one of the best players.
I don't
in
like how
regards to
cocky he is. Right? It's like the ego. I can't stand
Here's
a
the
big
thing.
It's
ego
fake.
on somebody.
It's fake. It's not real.
fake news.
Joe Burrow gets too much credit for being as cool as he is. That
Oh.
he's not cool. Like he's not the guy that everybody thinks.
I
he
never
is.
thought he was cool. I just don't like the vibe.
But
he
that's
gives
what
off.
everybody else thinks.
Fair.
It's like Joe Cool, right?
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
He's not that cool. He's actually a huge nerd.
Oh,
But
and
everybody,
he's a woke boy.
yeah. Like
He donates to like good causes.
I don't know what it is. It's not that I don't like him. It's just that I don't think I don't think people represent him well enough with what he actually is.
See, I actually think it's the exact opposite. I think I do like him because whatever he puts out there is just whatever he feels like doing. And I don't think he does it because he's cool. I think he just does it because he's like, this is what I feel like.
Oh no.
You just did that. You pressed the button.
I know I didn't. Maybe I did.
I heard you. I heard the button get
Did I
pressed.
did I do
Oh,
it?
you
Yeah,
did that.
I heard the
Oh, you
button.
did
I
the
literally
cough
heard the button.
Okay.
I don't have
All
my
right.
the
headphones
cough
in.
button.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Top
God.
boy.
All right.
I thought I was about to. Oof. I
That's okay. We got other problems today.
I think he just does whatever he
Hashtag phones.
feels like
Still
doing,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm okay with it because I don't feel like he's trying.
I like him. I am very worried though that, no offense to my co-host John Bishop, I feel like people who are wanting to make him better than Mahomes,
Yes.
that could be a negative for his.
He's not better than Mahomes.
He's not better than
No,
Mahomes.
but remember going
I
to the
do
NFC
take
Championship
him-
game? Oh, is he better? No.
I will take him
No offense,
over.
Josh Allen.
I think the rest of the
AFC?
young quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
Like I definitely take him over Herbert. I think I take him over Josh
Well,
Allen.
He doesn't
Wow.
screw up, and he makes really clutch plays.
He
right?
does.
So
Yeah.
like that's basically 90% of being a really good quarterback.
Right. And he's like he keeps his composure, which I don't think a lot of guys do.
Yeah.
And yeah, he doesn't make these horrifying mistakes that like Josh Allen does.
That's true.
Correct.
He does not.
And so
Josh Allen though has this like tantalizing talent.
right, but that's always been the Josh Allen thing, right? And he's gotten more out of it than the bust potential was there for him. But there's always this, if he could only figure X out, right?
Yeah.
Whatever X is.
Like
and
if
it
he had
changes.
Joe
that has
Burrow's
been-
decision making with his talent level.
That has been the thing that inhibits a lot of quarterbacks that we've seen in the NFL. Like some of the greatest of all time, like weren't the most extremely like had this tantalizing.
Most of them aren't.
Exactly.
I mean, like Tom
They're just the
Brady.
guys that figured
Tom
it
Brady
out.
is a pretty good talent.
Yeah.
Who
He
just has
figured it out.
everything out. Like Peyton Manning, super average talent, just football genius.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what you look at the really, really good players throughout history. Yeah. You have flashes of like a Mike Vick season here or there where you're just like, holy crap.
But we're talking
Right?
about careers.
Or a Cam Newton 15-1 MVP season. You're holy crap. Right. But for the most part, the guys that we talk about as all-time greats, probably the most talented of those is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. But even then, kind of a disappointing career considering the talent.
I mean, yeah, after
Just
the
one
Super Bowl,
Super Bowl, people
yeah.
forget.
And the flameouts in the playoffs in the last
The
year are
flameouts,
pretty
and he's
horrible.
only
I mean, they're bad.
been to one.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes has already been to
He's been to three Super
1,
Bowls.
2.
Yeah.
Right?
5 conference championships. Yeah. He's already surpassed him.
Like, that's crazy.
Nick, how's it going? Odson says Nick has clearly forgotten someone and he can't figure it out. Did you get them all?
So I just want to say before this, I knew I forgot a few teams, but I knew they existed.
You still have time, right?
No, it's done now.
Oh, it's done?
He missed 5.
I missed 5.
Who did he miss?
I missed the Ravens, Steelers, Colts, Commanders, and Eagles.
Eagles!
I
They
know.
just played in the Super
They
Bowl.
poop. All their fans.
Yeah.
I think it was the pressure element because like I know the teams that I missed,
That's
but I just
Sporkle,
couldn't
man.
think
The
of them
time
at the
does
That's
put
the
a pressure
game.
cooker
Like
on
I had
you,
5
yeah.
minutes. I was on such a roll too, and then the last 30 seconds, it's like, oh, duh, that's right. The Raiders are a team.
No Googles.
Wow.
Yeah, you did forget
Nick,
about
that's
the
better.
Raiders.
That's
It's funny
better
that I
than it
forgot
would've
the
been a
Eagles.
few-
It is, yeah.
That is really funny.
They
And
were-
the Steelers?
They were just
I know I forgot the Steelers.
Oh,
the
boy.
Steel
They're a
wall.
Certain listeners not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
a-
they never had any good quarterbacks.
Nice, Nick. Well done. Way to lean in on the bit. Except for Terry Bradshaw.
Nick forgot the entire state of Pennsylvania.
I was a big Bubby Brister guy personally.
Bubby Brister. I'll send you my.
Tommy
I took a
Maddox.
screenshot of the sport.
Love Tommy
All right.
Maddox.
Good job, Nick.
XFL great Tommy Maddox.
Oh, he was so good in the XFL.
I love Dennis Dixon. Dennis Dixon was
I
one of-
legitimately liked Dennis Dixon.
Dennis Dixon was my favorite college football player of all
And
time.
then his knee exploded on
And-
Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
But he still ran a touchdown in that game.
Yes.
And then he got
Against
to
Arizona.
the NFL and was a career backup. But I loved him. As a
I loved
quarterback.
Dennis Dixon. He was
Yeah, he was fun.
honestly probably my favorite Oregon quarterback in that like run.
Absolutely.
Like I know a lot of people go Mariota. I liked Dennis Dixon more.
Way more. Because
Yeah.
he was one of the OGs right behind Jeremiah Massley.
Yeah. And who was the guy that led
Darren
him?
Thomas.
I always forget his name.
Darren Thomas. I like
Well,
that
Dixon
guy.
was before Darren Thomas. I'm pretty
Dixon
sure.
was, yeah,
Yes,
he was
yeah.
he was a part of the 07, the best
he was
season of
the
all time. He was,
predecessor
Yeah.
to Darren Thomas.
correct.
But
Yeah.
he was better.
Oh, he was much better.
Thomas couldn't throw.
Thomas was a runner.
Yeah.
He was a track star.
The
Yeah.
divisions did throw me off, by the way.
They did?
I got stuck on the AFC South for a minute because I forget that the Colts are in the AFC South. But when I think South, I don't think of Indianapolis.
The NFC or the NFL divisions are hilarious. Like, look at Dallas; they're in the
I know.
NFC East.
I know.
Nick. You want to know something even funnier?
I was trying to think like, what other teams are in the South that I haven't?
So before they expanded, the Arizona Cardinals were also in the NFC East.
Oh, good.
They were a division rival of the Dallas Cowboys. I hated the Cardinals in the 90s.
Which is
Jake Plummer, screw you,
The
bro.
AFC
Jake the
East
Snake,
was the
baby.
first division I got all the way completed.
big
though.
Simeon Rice guy.
Oh, Simeon Rice.
He was good.
Oh yeah.
He was good.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna tweet out Nick's
My
big-
Sporkle.
yeah, his
Actually-
Yeah, do it. You better share it. Like,
Oh, he's.
Yeah,
I
Nick,
think
why
he's
don't you
good.
tweet
share
it
your
out.
final score.
Yeah, why am I tweeting it? Nick,
I
you
got
do it.
20.
I don't know if you
26
wanted
out
to
of
do it
30.
on the official account or whatever.
You can do it from that. You have the access to it. Or you're not logged in.
I'm
here
not
for
logged
For
in.
some reason.
It gets weird. And
Yeah. Why would you need to?
It
be?
works fine in my office, but it gets weird.
Use tweet.
No, I use TweetDeck in my
TweetDeck.
office, but when I try to use TweetDeck in here and I log in, it signs me out of my account and it just puts me on our account. I don't know what the deal is there with the TweetDeck.
I can
Everywhere
show you
else.
how to
What
do
the
it.
dealio?
It happened on my work.
No, you
computer,
can
or my
log
home
into
computer,
your
too.
own account on TweetDeck.
Right.
But then you would have access to both the show and
Yes,
yourself.
it doesn't work that way in here.
Simultaneous.
Because
You
that's
just
what I-
gotta- you
that's
have
what
to
I-
add. You have to add it to
No,
it.
I did. That's what I do in my office.
Yeah.
No, we have to sign into both of them.
This is stupid.
Yeah,
I
would-
don't
I
know
could
how
show you-
else
I could
to
show you how in
describe
like
it.
5 minutes.
I can show you what I do, and then I can.
And then
that
you're
will
being-
explain it better.
We need to
We
get the
have to
quarters
stop.
down.
Stop talking
Need to
about
get
it.
the quarters down, Nick.
No, but after you sign into the
Oh,
one,
is
you
this-
sign into the other
Yeah,
one.
He's being very defensive right now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That is a confirmed.
I don't know how to
quarter.
explain it. Well, I mean, I could show you.
Even that response, he said, "Fine, I'll give you a quarter." That's another quarter.
I'm
2
not.
quarters.
I don't feel like you're.
3 quarters.
Wow, Nick, we're just, I mean, you just want to give us a whole.
Give us a whole dollar.
Ah!
himself.
Oh.
The Royals have taken the lead in the bottom of the first.
I was very bummed. I was going to do lines for Cactus League baseball and predictions today, but there weren't any available.
There weren't. The Royals were minus
It-
120 on the money line. I
Oh,
saw.
see, so when I looked this morning, there wasn't anything available. Sad.
Well, maybe
they
it'll be
were-
up later.
They were
Make it a
running it
bet of
on
the
the
day.
bottom of the screen.
Oh, here they are.
There you go.
USA. I like how it says USA. USA Major League Baseball. The Boston Red Sox. Plus 118
Oh my
versus the
God.
Braves tomorrow, Ravi. What are you
Wait.
thinking?
Don't
It
love
was
it.
a Vinny
Don't love it.
Pasquantino 2-run home run.
Wow.
We are so back.
Can you believe this?
We are so back. This guy.
Man, I can't wait for baseball.
Oh, this guy's gonna be.
You sound
really good.
excited.
It's going to be great. It's going to be on all the time at my home. I can't wait.
You're not excited for Vinny Pasquantino?
I mean,
You're a Royals fan.
I
You
am.
said last year's, I'm going to be a Royals guy.
go Royals.
I want to watch the Royals.
Go Royals.
Steven, this was in response to Nick's Sporkle stuff earlier. Nick coming along nicely. Good grasshopper.
Good job, Nick.
Good job, grasshopper.
Grasshoppers are cool.
Josh says, where's the love for Joey Harrington?
no.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
We
even
were
count
naming
him.
Steelers quarterbacks, weren't we?
I'll take-
Well, then
no,
we
we're
went to
making Oregon.
quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll take
My bad.
Achilles Smith over Joey Harrington.
Whoa.
And Oregon.
That's a take.
Not in college.
I think
Achilles Smith was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't like Joey
was better.
Harrington. I didn't like that cover of the NCAA football game.
I don't like his style.
Joey
Like-
Harrington's style.
No, I prefer a mobile
Oh,
quarterback.
fair.
It's
That's
more
fair.
fun.
Yeah. That's fair.
Also, wasn't a big Jeremiah Masoli guy.
You weren't?
Really?
That guy had a cannon.
He must have really sucked because, like, they won the conference and then they were like, "See you later. We want to start Darren Thomas, and he can't throw."
Yeah,
Whatever, he was a bad locker.
No,
room
was
guy.
it Masoli before Dixon?
No, he was
yes,
in between
Masoli,
Dixon.
No,
and-
Masoli was before
It
Dixon.
was-
No.
I'm almost positive. He was one of the very early ones.
Bet you a quarter.
I'll bet a
Jeremiah
quarter.
Masoli.
I think it
Jeremiah
went, I think
Masoli.
it went
Too
Harrington, Masoli, Dixon, Thomas.
No way.
I think there
Masoli-
was somebody between Harrington and Masoli, but I think Masoli was before Dixon.
Jeremiah Masoli was their quarterback in 2009 when they went to the Rose Bowl. Lost
He
to Ohio State.
also
I kind of trust Josh on this,
I
but I,
believe
thought on your
briefly an Omaha Nighthawk.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so.
Nighthawks come to fight. Where did he transfer?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, he definitely was right before Darren Thomas.
You might be right. I thought in my
I definitely trust Josh on this.
in my
absolutely.
Sorry, Robbie,
head,
tough look.
I had him pre Dennis Dixon because I thought Dennis Dixon was like the evolution of like,
Same here.
oh, they can actually play both parts of the quarterback position now.
Uh-huh.
But you might be right.
Yeah, he was their quarterback the year that they lost to Boise. When Scott Frost.
The LeGarrette Blunt game.
Yeah, he was their quarterback.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
good one.
that's what
So
Scott
you're
Frost.
saying 09, Joe?
09.
That's what
yeah,
Scott
Jeremiah
Frost got
Masoli,
on the
09.
national
Jeremiah
scene for
Masoli.
And it was
ragdolling
like,
LeGarrette
whoa,
Blunt.
he is yoked.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember his
because
arms?
LeGarrette Blunt, not a small guy,
No.
and he was mad.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
big
Very
mad.
angry. He wanted
He
to
was
fight.
Who did he punch? Was it a player or a
Yeah, it
coach?
was one of
he
the
punched a
Boise
lot of
State
people.
players.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the white guy.
Just the whitest Boise State player he could find. Kind of
Yeah.
looked like Happer, honestly.
Oh,
He did. I mean, there was like some like if Happer was a defensive lineman
And
size,
then Scott Frost,
ragdolled him.
another guy who looks like me.
I figured out my TweetDeck issue. It was giving me the new version, but I like the old version of TweetDeck better.
Like we say, just after you log into the first one, you have to log into the other one.
I was used to the old version.
So
I
right,
don't use
Jeremiah
TweetDeck. I'm
Masoli
literally just giving you a hard time.
Was the 08 and 09.
Oh, there you go, Josh. Well
08
done.
and 09.
I
Well
do have
done.
do what I can.
question regarding my quarter tax.
Yeah. What, the $4 you owe us now?
Sure. What is the difference between me getting defensive and me just trying to explain myself? Because I feel like
I think it's
I
the
try
same.
to explain myself
Vibe.
and then you guys say that I'm defensive.
Vibe.
But I
You know what they s-
genuinely don't know what the difference is.
You know what they say about excuses,
Hmm.
Nick?
They're like buttholes.
People can explain
That and
themselves
a lot of-
though.
It's definitely the vibe, Nick.
Everybody has them, and they all stink.
Sometimes you just got to eat it. Sometimes you just got to take it right in the shoulder and just say, "Yep, this one's
on me.
This one's on me. This
My
is
bad.
My bad.
Or you could be like,
I know in my head.
you could be like,
what I
yeah,
have to
Josh,
do
if
to
you could
better."
show me later, that would be terrific.
Oh,
That's what I was getting to.
now that's what I would
But
love
before
to hear.
you got to that, there was
Yeah.
a lot of other stuff that
Yeah.
happened.
It felt like Josh was getting a little condescending with me because he's like,
Well,
"You just do this." It's like, no, but I was doing that.
to
and
be
I
fair-
didn't know.
I mean, I was.
That's That's the Josh vibe.
Yeah, Nick, that's my vibe.
Condescending
But I
is
don't
kind
know
of
quarters
just-
for being condescending.
Josh is pretty condescending.
Condescending is kind of the brand.
Yeah.
I was just trying to explain what I was doing, and then you were talking to me as if I didn't know what I was doing, but I did know what I was doing.
So you know, like when
it
I
was a
ask
weird
him why
thing.
he gets up so early to get him to talk about running,
Yeah.
it's called baiting him into the bet, like into the quarter.
Yeah.
So he's baiting you with his condescension.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
He is.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But then that just takes me back to I don't know the difference between explaining my position on something and just you guys calling me defensive.
It's the vibe.
It's
It's
getting
the vibe.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's the vibe.
No, I was just asking.
I think it's all
question.
quarter worthy.
It's all quarter worthy. Yep. Okay.
I think you might have to just give us dollar bills now. Nick, I'm kidding. Chris says Masoli was poised to be the starter in 2010, but was arrested for stealing a DVD player and kicked off the team.
Oh, I remember
that. Thomas took over.
and
Okay, so
that's why he transferred.
Yeah, and they still went to the national title game
Yeah.
With their backup
with their
quarterback.
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So they would have beat, what was it, Auburn that year?
Auburn.
Newton.
They would have
Yeah.
beat Auburn if they had Jeremiah Masoli.
I really like
and
it.
what's his name would have been called down when he twisted over.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's Dwyer.
yeah.
Stupid running back, Dwyer.
Dyer.
I was
Dyer.
Michael Dyer.
Dyer.
so
Michael
this
Where did I
one's
get
for all
Dwyer?
the Tostitos. I was so mad.
Dyer, yeah.
I wanted
Michael
Oregon
Dyer.
to win so bad.
I did too. I
we
really
all, I
did.
mean, we were all Oregon. That was the height of Oregon hype right around then. Everybody was wearing reversible Oregon shorts.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I ever actually had any Oregon gear.
I did. I didn't have reversible Oregon shorts. So.
I liked Oregon
Oh, I
because
had
of the.
reversible
And Oregon.
shorts.
I liked the style of play, but I don't think I ever had gear.
Was I a white kid who went to Shields in 2007? Yes,
Ah!
I was.
On brand. Yeah, that's on brand.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was always jealous that Nebraska wasn't a Nike school as I roamed those aisles.
Oh yeah, you're like,
man.
oh, look at all this cool
Look
Nike
at these
stuff.
Gonzaga shorts. I wish I had Nebraska ones like this.
Gonzaga,
where's the Nebraska
Gonzaga was
shorts?
big gear in the 2000s.
They just had the ones with like the N and like the weird basketball on the side.
Yep.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
dumb,
Bad is what it was.
terrible.
43 proof tweets in buttholes excuses followed by sometimes you just got to eat it. Well
yeah,
played, boys.
I you know
I didn't notice that until
I did. I decided to not go there.
Maybe I should have said wear it. You just
Wear
you
it.
just
Wear
gotta
it.
wear it.
Wear
You
it,
just
not
gotta
eat
wear it
Yeah.
Matt says reversible shorts
in honor of baseball.
were stupid.
Oh, they were totally
Baseball.
stupid. They were so stupid.
Reversible things in general,
Still
not
stupid.
as cool as they should be. Like
What-
they seem really cool.
What about pant shorts? The ones where
The
they had-
zips?
You
yeah,
zip
the
'em off?
zips.
I
I
had
was
those.
a big
Never
fan
cool.
of those.
Never
Not
good.
cool, but I had them.
Or
I
like
was a big fan
the
of those.
button pants. where
People
they
had those all the
Oh,
time.
sides.
Rip
the
them off.
the
Never
warm up
good.
pants.
Yeah.
Love the warm up pants.
Guy would do that in the bathroom for some reason. I always remember him taking them off. I'm not gonna say his name because it's a very unique name and he might still live in Omaha. But that's what he would rip those off and he'd have shorts underneath. He'd be like,
See,
I'm gonna go pee now.
You have to wear shorts
Wild
underneath
times.
because otherwise you're risking somebody pranking you there. So the shorts are crucial. But I did love the warm ups. The
Are the kids
warm up pants.
are the kids nowadays still in the phase of they wear shorts underneath all of their pants?
Oh,
'Cause
good question.
I definitely did that. I would wear shorts under my jeans.
I
I know
did.
people that
In
still
high
do
school.
that.
I wore
I
ba-
worked with people.
I
that were
wore
my age, but
basketball
I worked with
shorts
people.
under everything.
Everything.
Because you
Always
never
prepared.
Never
knew
knew when the game was
when
gonna
you were
break out.
gonna need to hoop.
Nice.
Totally. That was how I
That was
approached
my
it.
reason. Yeah.
I think that's why
120 degrees outside, basketball shorts under my shorts.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why not
Short-
just wear the
2
basketball
pairs
shorts?
of shorts for sure.
Well, listen, sometimes you needed to look a little classier with the jean
Oh,
short
sure.
or like a pair of cargos.
I'm sure I had
man.
pictures
South
of-
Pole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pole.
I'm sure
I didn't
had
actually wear
pictures
ever
of me
South Pole.
wearing
Me neither.
basketball, like I don't know, a random color of basketball shorts
Under-
underneath
yes.
cargos.
Yeah,
and
100%.
you could like see the shorts out of the bottom of the shorts.
See, that
Like,
was
it's
no,
like
here's-
layering.
It's like-
Here's what you got to do. The key was you always had to make sure the cargo shorts were longer than the
I
basketball
know, but sometimes
shorts.
it just didn't go that
Or
way.
sometimes you like get a little bunch up at the top there with the basketball shorts to make sure they're shorter.
Oh, I did what I could, but sometimes it just
But no,
didn't
it
go
was
my way.
always, yeah. It was probably, I want to say a couple years that I wore basketball shorts under
It's definitely
every
all throughout high school.
pair of
Is
pants.
like this level of basketball shorts underneath regular shorts will ever come back? It probably will because everything
comes back, but
So we're probably what 10, 15 years away from
I
this
was-
being a thing
No, I
again.
mean the '90s are basically over now.
So we're into the aughts pretty
so
soon.
we're going to be pretty soon
It's
that we're
go- it's
coming up
coming up
on
in the
getting the
next
So
five
back
what does that
years.
mean? What else is coming back then?
in the 2000s. Here's what I'm waiting for.
I know baggy stuff is back.
No,
again.
so I just
Baggy
saw
stuff is back.
Mhm.
I just saw an
I'm
ad.
not getting back into baggy.
I just
thanks.
saw an ad for the pop collar, a double pop collar polo, like from an
Oh,
actual brand.
nice.
Wow, that's very high school
Yes.
for me.
And so here's what I'm waiting for, and I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
I want my puka shell back.
Oh,
No.
yes.
I love puka shell.
Oh, yes.
It looks so good on my brown
The
skin.
surfer hair. So wait, does this mean Hollister is back?
Yeah, I think so. It's smell.
Oh my
Folks,
gosh.
I don't know.
How
You remember going to the mall, like, let's go into Hollister, and then you'd leave and you would smell like Hollister for
What
the
about
rest of the
flat bill
day?
hats? Did flat bill hats go away?
I don't think they went away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
They
for
just
me.
stand the
Yeah,
test of
for
time.
me it was I started aging out of flat bill hats. So like I don't go like a heavy curve, but I've got a
Yeah,
little
you got a little
I've
bit
got a
of a curve.
little like I've got a professional
No,
curve.
but I'm saying
At
like,
what
it
age do you
stays-
start curving?
What
I
age
always
do you-
curved.
So I started
Oh my gosh, Chance. I'm
in
not gonna
my
read your
30s.
text. Good lord.
I started in my 30s. Through my 20s, I wore the flat bill. I didn't keep the stickers on because I thought that was dumb.
I kept the stickers under the bill for some reason.
That's
So like I'd have like these
weird.
NFL hats and I'd have the shield underneath it with their
Odd.
holographic sticker.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of hats with those.
I
stickers
didn't
on.
keep the stickers on, but I
So
went
weird.
flat bill, I think, through my 20s. In my 30s, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Need a little bit of a gentleman's curve here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about those what glasses were people wearing in 2003?
The ones
The
without
Oakleys?
the ones without the rims around them, right? Like so
Oh.
it would just
Oh,
be
I don't
like
remember
the
those.
glasses.
Oh,
And they were really
Oh, I know those. Those are back.
like if you look up old pictures of Matt Schick, those were the glasses.
Those will be back. Those will be back soon. I think Billy C had some of those too.
yes.
I was thinking sunglasses, like the sporty Oakleys, which never really left, but they were very popular
John wears
in the
those still,
2000s.
Like Pit Vipers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John wears
kinda.
those.
I have a pair that I wear if I'm doing like sports outside or something, but
Same.
they're not my go-to. But I think those will come back.
Cool.
You know,
I can't wait. It's gonna be 2003 in about a year. Again.
Gosh, this is gonna be so weird.
Listen,
And eventually it'll just catch up.
the
And that's when
2000s,
fashion will be at its peak again.
yeah, the 2000s were peak fashion. You know, when you're in high school,
Yeah.
that's good stuff right there.
Puka shells.
I love
Bring back the puka
I
shells.
can't wait. I'm just so
The
excited.
surfer look.
I might bring them back
Have some
myself. I might just be the guy that brings them back.
All the shirts were so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love. So
What
I
about
don't.
tall tees. Are tall
Baggy
tees
ass
coming back?
pants.
I don't
Baggy
love
pants are
tall
back.
tees. I will say I did like it when your standard tee was a little longer.
I
Yeah,
want
my
skinny jeans
torso
to come
is-
back. I
My
miss skinny
torso is
jeans.
long.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the shorts or the shirts now are too short.
very short.
Very
I don't
short,
want like
especially
the,
Be like
for us
Grant
big,
Wistrom
stocky
in the
guys.
90s.
Yeah.
You lift up and you got your whole.
Yeah, I'm not interested in
bare
that.
midriff
Now
showing.
again, I don't want the tall tees that are, down to your knees almost.
Yeah.
I just want your normal t-shirt to be a little bit longer.
I remember when I was in high school, I would buy shirts that were double XL and I weighed 135
Yeah,
pounds.
you are not a double XL.
No, definitely not.
No.
And I was like, this is the cool look. My parents would buy those things
You
for
should-
me.
well,
Thank
they
you,
ha-
Mom and Dad.
They had a specific kind of shirt. It was called a tall tee.
Yeah, I never got a tall tee.
I
I,
like
would just
tall
get like
tees.
You
a
just get
North
super
Carolina,
big.
a double
Yeah.
XL North Carolina shirt. Go Tar Heels.
I will say
That's
That's
my
what
favorite.
everybody was doing.
Hell yeah. that's
I
my
am a
favorite
little bit
basketball scene.
excited for the baggy stuff to come back because
Jinko jeans, as in
no,
what
not
Brian
like the
texted?
crazy baggy stuff.
Remember the pockets on Jinko
Yes.
Oh,
jeans?
huge.
You could put your whole
Enormous.
life in those back
You
pockets.
You could run away from home and
Yes,
have everything
yeah,
you need.
My pillow's back here.
No, it's just I liked it when like I've got a few random like jerseys or whatever from back then that are like an extra large that fit me the same way as like a 2X does now.
Mm.
It's like so I'd like to revert back to an extra large actually being a good size shirt again.
I agree with Ravi
Yeah.
completely. Yeah, that's exactly.
It's a
how I feel.
stocky guy thing, I think
Yeah.
probably. It's not
Well, we got big,
The-
broad shoulders.
the cross country build over here isn't as big of an issue for him.
Why does he have that?
He's he's a schmedium for life.
Calories in,
but-
calories out, that type of stuff.
Gotcha.
There is
Yeah.
something in high school. I was a little bigger in high school. I liked the baggy stuff, but then college I started getting more into like the skinny jeans and more of the fit clothing, and I missed that. But
You missed the-
skinny jeans are lame now. I
You
guess
miss it or you missed it.
I
Screw
miss
those
it.
people, Nick.
I
Wear your
missed it. I
wear
missed it in
skinny
high
jeans
school.
with pride.
I wish I would have done it in high school. I tried it once in middle school, but I was still just a bit too big for them. Yeah,
Bring back skinny jeans, Nick.
bring back skinny jeans.
I don't care. I think that's a way better look than baggy jeans.
Yeah, I like the skinny jeans.
I just like a nice kind of tapered fit.
Yeah.
The overly baggy is probably a little.
Like, remember the jeans?
I'm probably
like
not going
the
back
back
there.
of people's jeans. They
So
were just all
here's-
ripped and
Oh
frayed.
yeah, I
Uh-huh.
do remember
And like on
that.
snowy days,
So
they
that's
walk
the-
into
be all
school.
wet.
That's the
Ugh.
part that I'm out on. Like just like
Gross.
the wet pant leg.
Yeah, just
I
nasty.
Nobody
definitely
needs
did that in
that.
high school.
That
Yeah.
was definitely a thing.
yeah.
I remember like because people used to like tear the bottom of their jeans so it would like cover their shoe.
Yep.
That was like a thing
Yeah.
people would do. And then
So,
if it rained or snowed or whatever, just your entire pant leg was wet below the knee.
Happer, you're not old, like too much older than I am. When
No.
you were in high school, was Osiris shoes? Were Osiris shoes a thing?
What are they called?
Osiris?
I don't know.
They're just like these big ass shoes. They look like
Were they
skateboard
skateboard
shoes.
shoes?
Yeah, they're like skateboard shoes, but on steroids. They're all
How do you spell
different
that?
colors. OSIRIU. It's like the Egyptian god.
Osiris shoes. Okay.
I had a couple pairs of those.
Yeah, those are basically like. Yeah,
But
I've
they're
seen
like
it.
Vans on steroids.
They look like skater shoes.
Yeah.
Sam says, I once wore my sister's jeans to school because I didn't have skinny jeans.
Oh gosh, I never got into the skinny
Wow.
jeans.
I didn't until recently.
That wasn't a again, not a big guy thing.
Do they have they brought back the pants, the holes in the jeans?
I think
Are those
I
back
think
yet?
those are close.
yeah,
Those
I
are
think
back
those are in the
soon?
neighborhood of being back. I've seen some on TV and stuff like that. So I think you're probably it looks a little different than it used to, but there's still some of the like torn up jeans.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
those? Like they'd just be like covered.
Huge holes.
Yeah, like and they'd always be at the knee, and it's like, well,
Oh,
this is gonna be even more
You know,
problematic.
here with my problem is I would always get like my foot stuck, like a toe stuck in the hole.
And then you rip it.
Yeah, and then you make an enormous hole in the
Well,
jeans.
can't wear these.
Terrible.
Yep.
Terrible.
So weird.
It was always a kind of a my mom whenever I was a
mom.
kid and I'd get holes in my jeans because I was a kid, I would do things.
Mhm.
I'd wear holes.
Yeah, sure.
That's when she would just cut them and turn them into shorts for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was pretty
man.
common.
Yeah.
The cut off, the
cut off.
true jorts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I preferred to wear my holes into my jeans. Like I didn't mind wearing jeans with holes in them, but I wasn't going to go out of my way to cut holes into
The
them.
old
I knew they'd
school
get there
way.
eventually.
I
think
worked
exactly.
for my holes.
I worked for my holes.
Michael, the holy jeans. LOL, they cost more than normal jeans. Looking at you, American Eagle. They did. They're more
Yeah, it was
expensive.
bad
They
time.
were, and that was always like the mom or dad joke. It's like they got holes in them; they should be cheaper.
Hap, before you leave, a text from the 202 that says, I can fit into my middle school shorts still because the knee shorts were the thing. Yeah, remember that? How long the
Yeah.
shorts were.
Uh-huh.
So is that
Really
back now
long.
too? Because remember a couple
No,
summers ago,
we're waiting
guys
for
were
it.
like,
Yeah, it was the 5-inch
The
inseam.
thigh
I never
shorts.
got into shorts. That
Trust me, they're
short.
going to get longer. It'll be a couple years, but they'll go back.
And
We're-
so then we're gonna look like old guys because our shorts will go above our knees.
See, I was always a big fan of like
Bless
the. Obviously,
Thanks.
you all right there? That was the thank you was more concerning than the sneeze.
it's just me catching my breath.
Okay. Yeah, like back in the day, obviously you had like the basically mid calf
Yeah,
shorts.
yeah.
Now I'm pretty comfortable with just above the knee.
I like right above.
just above the
I like
knee.
where you can see my
Just
tattoos.
right on the knees.
just above the knee.
I
I'm
like
not
that.
I'm not going all the way up. You know, some people with those really tiny inseams. I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
I'm probably don't need to go back below the knee. I probably don't need to
No,
revisit
I
that.
think we found a pretty good spot.
yeah.
That was
All right.
Little
ride.
trip down memory lane
Good.
there.
You just figured
Yeah.
out fashion.
Yeah, and it all started with Nick learning NFL teams.
He
Look
missed
at me.
5.
I missed 5.
Yeah. Chris
I
Baznet
missed the
tweeted in, by the way.
Eagles.
Chris
Hilarious.
Baznet tweets in and says,
Hey, Baz.
well, at least he missed a team that was literally in the Super Bowl this year.
I don't know how he did that. They just didn't. I was just going rapid fire. It was
Forgettable
just
franchise. It's okay, Nick. I forgive you.
whatever teams would go into my. The Giants was one of the last ones I put in.
Oh, man. It would have been fun if you forgot them too.
Uh huh.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you guys too.
Thank you.
Great time.
All right. That is Connor Happer of the Connor Happer Show. Ravi Lula's in. He's basically our Friday guy.
Breakfast with Ravi tomorrow morning. It's going to be
I
exciting.
saw
Breakfast
Oh,
with
yeah.
Ravi. Are you
About
going to bring in a breakfast burrito?
Breakfast with.
I don't know. I haven't decided what I'll bring in for
I got a
They-
recommendation for you.
what's that?
Go to De Leon's.
I was going to say, there is a De Leon's
Could
near
be.
Ravi's home.
There is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's on the other side of Dodge, like 114th. It's over
Yeah.
by one of the back entrances into
over
Burke.
on the other side of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might go there.
It's great.
I didn't know they did breakfast.
Oh yeah, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
They got breakfast burritos.
Bye, Happer.
Bye,
Yeah,
Hap.
yeah.
Bye, Hap.
I actually, I brought Riss lunch on Sunday,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm gonna get some De Leon's too, and I got a breakfast burrito at 3 in the afternoon.
It's the best.
You know that
Very good.
I often
very
stop
healthy.
by the gas station by my house. They've got a strangely good chorizo breakfast taco.
Do they?
Yeah.
I need to go to that.
It's pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah, I am a gas station food connoisseur.
Oh,
Gas
well,
station
maybe
food
we'll
can be
discuss
good.
that today. Coming up on the show today, a lot of stuff. We'll set it all up when we return here on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
If Mahomes was a horse in the Kentucky Derby, do you think he would have got to run in the Derby the way he was limping?
One-way ticket to the glue factory for Patrick Mahomes.
Take him out back.
Well, here's the advantage that we humans have over horses. We can communicate our wants and intentions. Horses can't be like, look, I want to run through this pain. I can go, coach. I want to run. I have to do this. This is important to me.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy skies becoming partly cloudy this afternoon, but staying cold. A high today in Omaha, 23 degrees, but still feeling like the teens. Winds will remain out of the east up to 10 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear and cold again. A low of 14. For the weekend, partly to mostly sunny skies for your Saturday, a high of 46, 54 Sunday, breezy with a chance of storms Sunday night. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
It's time to find a career that's right for you. Metropolitan Community College can help you find a new path forward on your time. Whether you need a degree that puts you on a path to a new career or need to finish a degree you've already started, MCC makes it affordable and convenient with a flexible class schedule, online or on campus. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start March 9th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/adults.
For unmatched cardiac expertise, put your heart in the right place with Nebraska Medicine, where you'll find the most heart advances in the state, telehealth appointments to make your care even more convenient, and a genetics clinic to help avoid future heart issues. With multiple locations, our world-leading care is just a heartbeat from home. For matters of the heart, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/heart.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Getting significant point contributions off the bench has been a struggle at times this year for the Creighton Blue Jays, but when it mattered most at St. John's, Sharif Mitchell and Mason Miller each hit big buckets. That did not go unnoticed from starter Arthur Kaluma.
I'm super proud of my guy, man, like especially how the year started to where he is now, and like the growth that I've seen from him is like, it's inspirational for me, seeing that from my senior.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. The number 15 Omaha hockey team erased a 2-0 deficit last Saturday night to go to a 3-2 overtime victory and a weekend sweep of the Miami Redhawks. The Mavericks return home this weekend for a top 15 matchup against St. Cloud State. Also, it'll no longer be the final home series for the Mavs, as they secured home ice for the opening round of the NCHC playoffs. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
Coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
All right, on the show today, Kent Walgamont is talking Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine?
And then we're going to preview the whole weekend. You know, Creighton plays Villanova, Nebraska plays Minnesota.
Lots of stuff.
Other stuff too.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome in, everybody, on this One Beer Friday.
How many beers?
One.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you can have more than one if you like.
Uno Cerveza.
Oh.
I did pick up some beers on the way in today. And you know what I didn't get, Ravi?
IPAs?
I didn't get IPA.
Yeah!
I got some sort of a
What was that
fruity wheat beer or something. I don't remember. It's like spring. It's a spring beer.
I love it. You know,
It feels like spring outside.
trying to manifest spring.
I am willing it. Look, it's going to be spring tomorrow afternoon. We just got to get to tomorrow afternoon. 47 tomorrow, 58 on Sunday.
It was 1 degree when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, same. It was horrible out this morning.
It was very cold this morning.
So we just got to get to tomorrow. We got to get to tomorrow. At least the sun is out. It wasn't very cool when we had that dusting. I was very worried that it was going to be slick again, but it wasn't. So
yeah.
I love talking. Sorry, Rob.
I'll say it wasn't too bad once I got here. Like once we got through the morning, it kind of seemed like the edge got off the cold a little bit.
yes, I'm trying to remember when I was outside, and then like the next time I went out, it was like, hey, there's like nothing here
it
anymore.
warmed up a little bit.
Yeah. So that's nice. So yeah, we just got to get to tomorrow, and then it'll be spring, and then we'll have some more snow. But at least tomorrow it's going to be spring. Coming up on the show today, we will talk about the weekend that we are about to get into. A Creighton-related stat that I don't know if it means something or means nothing, but I want to throw it your way. Of course, we'll talk about their matchup with Villanova. That's why John is gone. He is probably on the way to Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, I think he said his flight was leaving at noon, so they're probably almost there.
Oh, wow. Earlier than normal. Usually they're like a 2 o'clock kind of flight.
Or maybe he had to get there at noon.
Got to get there at
I
noon.
don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
He's
John's
probably
gone.
on the way.
Who cares? We'll see him on Monday. You can hear him, of course, tomorrow. And you can hear Ravi tomorrow. Breakfast with Ravi at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 90-minute show. It's like the old days.
Good old days. 90 minutes of pregame.
Oh, man,
You should
that's
get
awesome.
Chance to make you a special intro. It's like
For
breakfast
breakfast?
at Tiffany's, but
Yes.
it's breakfast at Robbie's.
And I said, what about
Breakfast at Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough syllables.
Yeah, Ravi. Yeah, you could double the V, I guess. So we'll do that today.
Rahavi.
Also talk a little Nebraska basketball as they have a couple of home games over the next few days.
We
Talk
love home
about-
games.
We do love home games, Robbie.
Have you been out to Nebraska basketball game this year?
No. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got invited to the game on Tuesday.
I thought you were going to go.
I said yes, and then I forgot about something, and so now I'm trying to find someone else who wants to take the ticket. And so I feel bad because they're courtside seats. And
Ooh,
yeah,
fancy man.
Yeah, do what I can. Do what I can. So trying to figure that out. So we'll talk about them. Also, the athletic story on Russell Wilson today is absolutely bonkers. So we have to thank you, Nick. We have to talk about that just a little bit. So we will do so. And who knows what else? One Beer Friday predictions. Unsportsmanlike content if we have time, which we will. We'll have time for it today.
Sure.
Will we?
Last week we didn't.
You've promised me
I
before.
feel bad now, Nick, for the crossover and how mad you were. Now I want to, olive branch. You can read questions.
I wasn't. I was more curiosity than mad. I didn't know where the line was.
Okay. I just don't want.
I've been doing so well. I just want to make sure I keep
you had
doing
done
well.
a great job.
It's a blurry line.
Yep.
Yeah. It just is.
Call me puddle of mud.
Yep, indeed. There you 2000s. So we'll do content. I promise that we will do content. At least one question of content.
I'll say now you're making me want to make it so we don't do content.
Just for the bit?
Just because, when you're like drawing a line in the sand, it makes me really want to do the other thing.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if
It's like I really want to derail the show now, so we have no opportunity to get to
it's already 2:44.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's already 2:44.
Hey, we should go to break.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, and then a break again. Also, one listener says we talk too much Dylan Raiola. So I think we should probably talk Dylan Raiola a little bit today.
I think we have to.
Also, have Husker fans let their guard down with Matt Rule? Pose this question to Robbie in the happy hour and see what happens there. 402-951-1620. You can call us. Nothing's going to happen because the phones are broken. But you can text us to 402-951-1620.
You can tweet us.
You could tweet us on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter
That's right.
feed at USC1620. You can tweet us. You can also email us, Equitable Bank Inbox, Josh at 1620thezone.com. Sorry, no Ravi at 1620.
No, you have to tweet me.
Thomas, who always asks, does Ravi have an email? The answer is no for now.
I don't
Dare to dream. I'm going to keep dreaming. You're going to keep dreaming.
Yeah.
Nick's going to keep dreaming.
Dream team, you know,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
maybe someday it'll happen.
Maybe someday.
Ted Lasso, believe.
Dude, we started our rewatch ahead of.
I'm so excited.
Ahead of the
just a couple more weeks.
Is this supposed to be the last season? Have they announced if it's
the last season?
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it's the
Just
last
make your
season.
own email at Ravi. So then I.
Oh, the Ravi at Ravi. Like we talked about.
Yeah,
that,
like
I
at
think.
Ravi.com.
Is that too
or Ravi.Ravi?
Yeah, it's a little too meta for me. You know,
Yeah.
it would be funny.
Ravi at Lula.com.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then all of us could get our own Lula emails.
Oh, we could be a part of the team, the Lula team.
Building the brand.
Mm-hmm. But coming up over the course of the next few minutes, what teams can win the national championship in college basketball? I posed that question to Ravi last night as we left the movie theater.
You did.
And he answered it. Can you give us a tease before we get into this? Do you know how many teams you have? How many teams can win the national championship in college
believe
basketball?
I'm at 6.
What?
Yeah.
Holy God. Okay. Well,
is that higher or lower than you thought?
Way lower. And I'll explain why coming up in a little bit.
All right.
When we return, though, some quick thoughts on volleyball at Memorial Stadium. He is Ravi Lula. I am Josh Peterson. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I'm just looking at all sorts of sheets on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. The number 15 Omaha hockey team erased a 2-0 deficit last Saturday night to go to a 3-2 overtime victory and a weekend sweep of the Miami Red Hawks. The Mavericks return home this weekend for a top 15 matchup against St. Cloud State. Also, it'll no longer be the final home series for the Mavs as they secured home ice for the opening round of the NCHC playoffs. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Hey, it's Nick Hanley for Woodhouse Mazda. The 2023 Mazda CX-50 is the latest addition to the Mazda CUV lineup, and it's a beauty. The ultimate crossover to get the most out of the outdoors with new designs that will make every adventure comfortable and ready for any road condition. Test drive a Mazda CX-50 today at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or in Millard, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. You can shop, finance, and buy online at WoodhouseMazda.com or WoodhousePlaceMazda.com and enjoy a friendly and knowledgeable sales staff. Woodhouse Mazda, a drive worth experiencing.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Parenting comes with a lot of questions. At Bye Bye Baby, we're here to help you prep for everything you expected and everything you didn't. Pop by your local store for brands you trust and expert advice. And because we can't wait to meet you, we're giving you extra savings. Text BABY to 42229 for $20 off your in-store purchase of $100 or more. Again, text BABY to 42229 for $20 off your in-store purchase of $100 or more. Bye Bye Baby. Welcome to parenthood.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct of 1620.
The Zone.
Josh, Ravi, and Nick, it is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on a Friday. It's a one-beer Friday as well. We will have content, though, later, I promise.
Allegedly.
We'll have content throughout the show as well. A couple of quick things, and coming up next, Ravi will tell us 6 teams?
I think I've only got 6.
Wow, that is so small. So she said.
Nice.
Chris in Montana.
I think 6 is at least average.
Chris in Montana says, tune in for the crossover in the start of the show to see what the review of Cocaine Bear was. I'm assuming since I didn't hear anything, it must not have gone over very well. No.
We're saving it.
Au contraire, mon frère. Yeah, we'll talk about that with Kent in an hour.
That's our movie club.
Yeah, that's our movie club. That's why we didn't talk about it at
Yeah.
all in the crossover. Plus, Nick was writing down NFL teams.
We were very busy.
I think we all really enjoyed it. So that's my quick tease, and then we could
I
expand.
might have
on
a controversial take on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Cocaine should be legalized. I think that is Nick's controversial take. Stay
Is that
tuned.
controversial? I'm just kidding.
No, why would you think I said? Why would you think I think that? I don't know why you think I think that. I don't think that at all.
I don't know
That's
what you mean.
That's a weird thing to think, Josh.
Another quick thing before we get to the volleyball news. Schefter just said that the Chiefs promoted Matt Nagy to offensive coordinator.
Oh, big Shefty.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Congrats,
Matt Nagy.
Matt.
Not a surprise, I don't think, with Bieniemy going to Washington, a team that Nick did forget today.
Yep.
Which
I
is
did
fun.
forget about the
So he
Commanders.
forgot them and the
I
Eagles
actually
and
think-
almost the Giants.
Tough
look for the rest of the
tough
division.
look for the NFC East.
Go Cowboys.
They were the first team I wrote down.
Nice.
I actually think it's understandable to forget the Commanders since they had the name change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like it slips.
Yeah,
It's
do you
always kind
accidentally
of been a
write the
forgettable
slur
team
down?
for me,
It's
too.
also a very forgettable franchise.
Yeah. If you were John's age, you'd be like, they're not forgettable because they were
Right.
great. But
You have to
for us,
be-
they suck.
They've always been bad.
Yeah.
I
I don't
mean-
ever remember them being good. Like the RG3 year was fun.
But you're talking about like 1 year.
Yeah. That's the only season I ever remember saying, I would like to watch a Washington game. Even when they went to the playoffs with Kirk Cousins.
One
they
of-
weren't watching
Yeah,
them.
no, they weren't interesting.
One of my best friends growing up, his favorite team was when there was still the slur name, Commanders.
yeah.
And I still forgot him. I've just never read it. I would be around
haven't-
him all the
they
time.
haven't
They
been
never
interesting.
did anything.
I'm trying to remember any interesting Washington team.
I remember one other one when they signed a bunch of free agents.
Yeah,
And it was like, whoa,
because
they're
they
going to win the
signed
Super
what, like
Brad
Albert
Johnson.
Haynesworth, or was that the Haynesworth one?
I believe so.
Uh,
No.
That
I'm
was with
thinking,
McNabb.
I'm thinking of like in 2000 or something.
Oh, okay.
they were on like the SI cover and then they sucked.
They do that occasionally where they'll sign a bunch of big name free agents, but they're all kind of old and washed up.
Was Haynesworth the one who failed his physical?
Yes,
Or
he
his
was from
conditioning test?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
He failed his conditioning test for like a month.
Yeah.
Just kept failing it.
Wow.
And
He was enjoying his new contract.
He was, yeah. I remember, honestly, it's off-season stuff. I don't remember any season, like in-season Washington stuff that has mattered at all.
Yeah.
I remember like Donovan McNabb.
Yep. RG3.
Mark Brunell.
Yep.
Had a moment.
What about when Alex Smith snapped his leg?
That was horrifying. Probably the most memorable thing since RG3
Yes.
was where Alex Smith came back and played again.
That was cool.
And I was like, okay, you got your snap. Please, dear God, retire immediately.
Yeah, we were all like, get off the field.
And then he didn't. And every time he got
I
hit,
hated
I was
it.
just horrified.
I didn't like it at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. Very forgettable franchise, as we said.
Yeah.
A couple of tweets about volleyball. So Jeff says, do you think it's weird that Creighton wasn't invited to the party at Memorial Stadium? And Amazing Daniel says, I swear John Cook said you can't play an outdoor volleyball game because of the wind. Is there not wind anymore? To answer the first question,
I do believe there is still wind.
there is
for
still
the-
wind. Yeah, so I guess
It's a
to answer the
government
second
conspiracy.
question,
For the
there is
record.
still wind. To answer the first question, I do not think it's weird that Creighton wasn't invited to this because, like, this is all being done for the spectacle and to try to set the record.
Right.
That's like, I feel comfortable saying like that's the only reason they're doing this.
I would agree.
So if you start with that premise, I don't think that they want to take that game out of a normal environment. But you can take a game, a match with a lesser program, a lower program like Omaha, and put it in the stadium. I think that's what this is all about. Can you make
the argument that in a Creighton-Nebraska matchup gives you a more likely, because Ted Carter's pushing for a sellout, which I think is a lofty goal.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Doesn't Creighton make that more likely, though?
Probably, yeah, because it's a couple top 25 teams.
So
actual rivalry.
Better matchup, an actual rivalry. You get more of the Omaha people in.
Yeah. But is this about, barring what he said or pushing aside what he said, is this about a sellout, or is this just about putting the number at such a high level?
Sure, because you get the number to 30 or 40,000 and it's over.
It's done.
Right? But, I mean, it seems like, based on what Ted Carter said, he said he would be disappointed in 30 or 40,000.
And so you wonder.
So not only did he say sellout, but to say you'd be disappointed in a number that would more than double the current record, you're kind of setting yourself up in a bad spot there if you don't get a sellout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Creighton gives you a better chance at a sellout than Omaha.
That said, just knowing this fan base,
they might do it.
They'll be like, what? All right, we have to do this for God and country. We're going to sell the stadium
for Carter and country.
Mustache Adam says you can also justify the decision that it's within the University of Nebraska system as well.
No, I get it.
Because isn't Kearney having a match prior? Yeah, they are. They're playing Wayne State.
Yeah, I can totally get it.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to keep it in the Nebraska system, Kearney would play Nebraska College of Technology and Agriculture.
Yeah.
People forget they're in the Nebraska system.
They do. And you know what? Here's the thing. Like, any other school that agreed to this or that would play would have to agree to it.
Yes, which is probably not ideal. And maybe, I don't know.
I'm going to ask around within some of the Creighton sources that I have.
Creighton.
That's what I want to know.
Because that probably, if you're Creighton and you are really trying to knock off Nebraska, because that's a big deal for Creighton. That's one of the obstacles they haven't really conquered yet.
Yep.
This isn't a good opportunity for you to do that.
No, you don't want to do it like, I don't.
Although if you did it in front of that,
it'd be an all-timer.
Yes,
it'd be an all-time moment.
But it doesn't.
Does
really
that give
set
you your best
up for
opportunity?
success.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've made the argument before. I think Matt DeMaria brought it up to me. Playing at the CHI Center doesn't really set them up for success because they don't play there very often.
Yeah. If they want, like, I get why they do it.
The opportunity to win is at Sokol.
I get why they do it.
Yeah, it's a huge event and it's great. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but it's just like I've talked to some people about the women's team, the basketball team, and they're like, shouldn't they play UConn at CHI? And it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're wanting a specific atmosphere, sure, but I think it's cooler that they play them at Sokol because that environment is just so different because they fill up the gym and it's obviously smaller. Well, I like that.
It's kind of it's the difference between playing at the Dean Dome in North Carolina and playing at Cameron Indoor. Right?
Yeah.
Cameron Indoor is a crazy atmosphere. The Dean Dome is just an enormous place to play basketball.
Or the Double D, as some people call it.
Some people do. Just you, basically. But
gotta be maybe one other person.
I don't know. I've never heard it before. But you're talking about just a huge arena where it's almost 20,000 people versus a raucous atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're giving something up in ticket sales and all those sorts of things if you are playing at Cameron Indoor, but the atmosphere is undeniably better.
Yeah.
And it's that same type of dynamic.
By the way, before we go to break, the source that I was literally going to reach out to and ask, he responded. Creighton was not approached. They wanted to keep it within the university system.
There you go. Well, NCTA and Curtis, Nebraska, very disappointed they weren't invited.
Yeah, not surprised at all. It'll be interesting. I don't know, like, if it's going to be, it'll probably be cool looking, very interesting. I would hate to be at the top of the stadium watching.
I was going to say there's going to be some tough sight lines.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We were talking about it off air, going to the Final Four and watching a basketball game at the top of AT&T Stadium.
If a team that I didn't care about wasn't there, I would never go.
No, it sounds horrible. Yeah.
It's
$50 to not see, to have binoculars at a basketball
watch on
game?
the big screen the whole game.
There you go. Well, I guess it is a nice big TV.
Yeah, but still, I mean, come on.
Speaking of college basketball, Ravi says only 6 teams can win a national championship. Is Ravi off his rocker?
I mean, probably, but I don't know about this.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw some other teams at you, obviously, because I'm gonna have a few more.
Throw some more at me. And listen, I'm not
Nebraska.
Hard pass.
Okay. Iowa.
Hard pass.
All right. We'll find out which 6 they are, and if he could be talked into any others.
Probably.
And we'll explain why we're doing this exercise.
Because we love exercise.
Because we love exercise. And I'm not going to expand on what type of exercise we love here on 1620 The Zone.
If you have not had your gas furnace inspected in the last year, you need to put everything down right now. Drop everything and contact McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. Go to McCarthy's1hour.com and schedule a furnace inspection today. Not only will you get a thorough and one of the best inspections around from their professionally licensed techs that will keep your furnace functioning smoothly, comfortably, efficiently, and safely. Because unfortunately, if you have not had a furnace inspection in many years, you could be running the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. You do not want that. It's important to have your gas appliances properly maintained. And if you get in touch with McCarthy's today, you can get half off a carbon monoxide detector, which you should also have in your home if you have a gas furnace, with each maintenance inspection. That's right, just half off. So contact McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air today. And remember, when you contact McCarthy's, they'll be on time because they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Your 13th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is third in the NCHC and has secured home ice for the playoffs for the first time since the opening of Baxter Arena. Because of you, Maverick fans, they're fourth in the nation in attendance. Get your tickets now for the final home series and senior weekend against number 5 St. Cloud on February 24th and 25th, and for the playoffs on March 10th and 11th. Let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or at omavs.com/tickets.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Alongside Ravi Lula, I am Josh Peterson. It's a One Beer Friday. Let us know what you are drinking as the weekend arrives. Kent Walgamont's going to join us in 40. We will talk about Cocaine Bear and our review of seeing that last night at the movie theater. Before we get to Robbie's handful of teams plus one that can win a national championship in college basketball, the Big Ten just announced that they are changing the format of the conference tournament for baseball.
Oh,
they are adding
baseball.
They're adding an extra day. Essentially, they say the move allows flexibility in case of inclement weather. As a result, the 8-team tournament will use a 3-2-3-2-4-1 format in terms of games played per day, with competition beginning one day earlier than in past years. So now the tournament will begin on a Tuesday. And then it'll go through Sunday. So the 23rd through the 28th is when it will be played this year. So number of teams stay the same, extra day of competition added.
There you go.
And that's talking baseball. Let's move on as quickly as possible. So I was listening to Scott Van Pelt, Stanford Steve, their podcast earlier this week.
Okay.
And after football season, they've done this the last couple of years. They go through an exercise of how many teams can win the national championship in college basketball. I believe last year Stanford Steve had like 12. This year, I don't remember which one had 20 and which one had 25. But that's why I was surprised when you said 6, because Steve or Scott, I don't remember which one. One of them had 20. One of them had 25. Creighton was on both of their lists.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this would be a fun exercise to do with the biggest college basketball fan I know, Ravi Lula.
Yeah. So,
but you're a hater of college basketball.
No, I don't think there's as many teams that can win the national title as would appear on the surface.
And by the way, this exercise, I don't want to hear like, but this team can make the Final Four. Yeah, cool. But we're talking about teams that can actually win the whole
and that's
thing.
Where a lot of these teams get pared down.
Is the
Final Four to the national championship. Like, for instance, spoiler here, I think Creighton could make a Final Four. I don't think they can win a national championship.
They can win the whole thing.
They've been too inconsistent this year.
The haters just deleted their tweet that they were going to send to you.
I know, they were ready. They've been too inconsistent this year. I'm not there on them.
Essentially, and I always like looking at this sometimes from the gambling angle, and that is a 6-game parlay. So essentially what we were describing is, do you trust Team X
to win 6 games in a row?
Do you trust Creighton to win 6 games in a row?
Yeah.
Especially with the latter 4, if not 5, coming against like real good competition.
Yes.
Real good competition.
So there's another factor here that I'm a big believer in terms of picking national champions.
Is it the Ken Pom?
It's the Ken Pom thing.
Okay, so
which this narrows that down dramatically.
Wow, so basically what we got to do is just look at that list, and that's kind of where you're going.
It is, but so Creighton qualifies.
Yes, they do. We talked about it the other day.
Still have them out.
Interesting.
So here are my teams: Houston, UCLA, Alabama, Purdue. Another team that qualifies, but I don't think can win a national title is UConn. I don't buy the way they're a 500 basketball team since conference play started. I don't buy them.
Fair.
Kansas.
Okay.
So Texas technically does not qualify currently
in the Ken Pom stuff, or in
the Ken Pom, but they're on my list.
The Lula ranking. We got to come up with a fun name.
They're close. The Lula contenders, we'll call them.
Bingo.
They're close on defense. They're in on offense. But I think they can win it, and I think by the end of it, their defense could get into the numbers, so it would work out. But so Texas, that's my 6. Those are the ones that I think.
So same again: Houston,
UCLA, Bama, Purdue, Kansas, Texas.
All right, so let's
now. I can be talked into others. Okay, and there's like another tier, right? The tier, I kind of my Final Four tier, like we were talking about. And let's be honest, if you can make a Final Four, the difference is not huge.
No, you got to win 2 more games,
right? And you can catch some luck, win a couple games.
For example, last year, if we did this exercise a year ago, you would not have had North Carolina on the list.
No.
You would not have had North Carolina on the list 2 weeks later. You would not have had North Carolina on the list like going into the Sweet 16.
No.
And yet they were 1 game away from winning the whole thing.
And had a big lead at one point in the title game.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were on the doorstep of picking up another national championship.
Yes.
and yet you wouldn't. So in the end, you would have been vindicated, but a lot of people would have said, but Ravi,
by a
I mean,
matter
come
of a
on.
handful of minutes, right?
Correct.
So there's other teams you can talk me into. For instance, like Arizona. You could talk me into Arizona. Their defensive metrics aren't good enough. They're a top 40 team, though. So they're not bad, and they're elite offensively.
Let me ask you.
So you could talk me into an Arizona.
If you are looking at a team and they are good on offense, bad on defense, or vice versa, which one are you more apt to trust going into the tournament?
Defense.
So like a Tennessee, for example.
Yeah.
Horrible offense at times this year. Downright ugly offense.
So they're a little too low on offense for me because they're
Yeah.
like in the
Dude, yeah, they
90s, I
stink.
think, on
I
offense.
mean, some of the games in terms of their shooting percentage.
Oh, they're 74, but they're first in defense.
See, so like, but that's too low on
I
offense.
think that's too low. I mean, this is kind of arbitrary, but I'm thinking like Arkansas, 12 on defense, 50 on offense.
So
you can talk me into an Arkansas.
Yeah, it doesn't
like
Tennessee-
if I saw Arkansas in the Final Four, I would not be shocked at all.
Yeah.
So I can't be that shocked if they win the
whole
national
thing.
title. But to me, they're not in my group of contenders.
Doesn't Tennessee, they seem like the team that we have seen many times where they obviously great defense, but they get into the tournament, they're playing a team that's suddenly hot, and they're just unable to keep up.
Yeah.
Because their offense is so bad,
Yeah.
and their defense gets burned one night, and suddenly it's like, wow,
So
they're
we-
out of the tournament before the second weekend.
With an offense that bad, I mean, you have to go to Iowa State at 19 to find another a team that's offense is that bad in the top 20 of Ken Palm.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a huge outlier in terms of where they're at. And then past Iowa State, I mean, you've only got you've only got 3 teams in the top 30 that are as bad offensively as Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's too much of an outlier. But Arkansas is a good example here. Even like I don't buy St. Mary's talent level, but their metrics would lead, 9 defensively, 40 offensively. It's like I could talk myself into that.
What about Gonzaga? Let's look at the same conference, and we'll talk about their game and predictions
I don't
later
think
on.
they're good enough defensively.
Yeah. Do you think
That's because they're one offensively, right? They're
Yeah.
a great offensive team.
Yeah.
But
and they go into this tournament, they're going to go into this one unburdened of the expectations of the last
yes,
couple of
which
years.
maybe that helps.
Yeah. Like I wonder, like how much does that mental,
but
but are they good enough?
The defense is the thing that we see year after year that tends to translate better.
Yeah.
And it's if you've got a defense and then you've got 1 or 2 guys that can get you buckets, even if your offense is not that good, but you've got 1 or 2 guys that can create you buckets, then you can survive that. That's one of the reasons that I don't really buy UConn, even though they are good offensively. I look at the guys that they have. I mean, their 2 best players, Sonogo and Jordan Hawkins, right? Hawkins doesn't really create his own shot. He doesn't create offense for himself. He comes off of a ton of screens. He doesn't have the ball in his hands that much. Those guys are dependent on other people to get them their buckets. Same thing with basically all big men, and Sonogo qualifies. You need someone else to help you get those shots. So even though on the season they've been really good offensively in terms of their efficiency, I don't necessarily buy that translating, because what we see over and over again, point guard play, right? Point guard play, ball handler play, primary playmaker play in March is what elevates a lot of these teams to that next level. That's part of the reason I have Texas in there. I like Texas's guards in terms of their ability, even if they're not super efficient, in terms of their ability to get some of those situations. I don't buy that with a team like UConn, even though their metrics would indicate they could do it.
One of the teams you did not have in your list, but you mentioned them as like not surprised if they would do it, would be Arizona. And Mike says, I think Arizona could do it. Their bigs are a game changer like Purdue.
Again, Purdue makes me a little nervous because they are big focused.
Yep.
But they've been so good. I can't leave them out. Arizona's, again, the bigs don't usually translate nearly as well in postseason play as guards do.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the teams that have a guy that can take over with his playmaking as a
just
primary
knocking
ball
down
handler,
shots. Yeah.
those are the teams that end up making runs.
Yeah.
And so, because over a 6-game stretch, you're going to run into somebody that can figure out a game plan for your bigs. Over a 6-game stretch, if a guy is just on a heater and making shots, there's nothing you can do. There's just not, we've seen it with a couple UConn teams in the past with Kemba Walker and Shabazz Napier.
Yep.
When those guys just got on heaters, it was over.
Yeah, even though those teams weren't very good in the regular season.
Especially the Shabazz Napier team was really mediocre.
Yeah.
That Shabazz Napier team established the floor of the Ken Palm
there's all these outliers, and that's the one.
That's the biggest outlier, and that's the floor of these metrics that we're talking about.
It kind of screws up the discussion because it's like top 49 or whatever
It's
it is
top
because of that
40 offense and 22 defense,
yeah.
but everyone except them is in the top 20 offense.
Yeah, correct.
So it's
it's a pretty hard and fast rule for the most part.
It really is. The only team there hasn't been a team since 2003 when Ken Palm started doing these rankings that has been outside of the top 22 or outside of the top 40. So top 40 offense, top 22 defense. Outside of that one UConn team in 2014 with Shabazz Napier, but I believe the other champions have all been top 20 in both.
Yeah, except for Baylor, right?
They
were 22
in offense or in defense. Yeah. So top 22 in both is the hard and fast rule,
except
with
for one
single outlier, and then they're the floor on it, right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at these teams, that's why I look at a 74 offense at Tennessee, and I'm just like, I don't care how good the defense is.
Too big of an outlier.
Yeah, that's way too big of an outlier.
All right, when we come back, I wanted to ask you about, you hit on UConn. Let's look at the other Big East teams, and we can use that as a transition into looking ahead to this weekend's game between Creighton and Villanova. So we'll do that. 6 teams, as Ravi just mentioned. We can go through maybe some others that were left on the cutting room floor as well.
I'll say, did you have some other ones you wanted to throw at me?
And well, let's see, because I wanted to do the Big East next. There was no other teams in the Big Ten. I'm just kind of
Marquette would be a pretty big outlier defensively.
Yeah,
they're a full 40 off.
Yeah,
defensively, and I don't.
Any other non-Power 6 conference teams that were like right on the edge for you?
They
brought up San Diego State as a.
San Diego State.
You told me to bet on them the COVID year. I'm so bummed that we never got a chance to watch that.
They were really good that year.
They were really good.
And Malachi Flynn, they were.
I was holding on to that ticket. I was feeling good, man.
Really good that year. I do think they peaked a little early. So
yeah, no ACC team.
Yeah, the ACC is pretty rough.
What's Virginia's Ken Palm on offense? Obviously, we know what they can do on defense.
Virginia's Ken Palm on offense is 69.
Nice.
They're 29 on defense, so they don't qualify on either.
They're not good enough.
I'm looking at these. I just like Gonzaga's a way too big of an outlier on defense.
Yeah.
Tennessee is a way too big of an outlier on offense. San Diego State's probably the other Group of 5 team outside of Houston that makes the most sense, just because I have a really hard time with St. Mary's.
One more, Kansas State. How much did you consider them?
I looked at them. The 57 on offense really scares me.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of put them in a Arkansas type category. Like, wouldn't shock me if they made the Final Four. I'm not buying them as a national title
shock you though if they won the whole thing. All right, when we return, talk more about the Big East teams. We'll look ahead also to Creighton and Villanova. We'll also look ahead to Nebraska's matchup this weekend with Minnesota. We'll do that later on in the show today. He's Ravi. I'm Josh. Nick producing. It's Unsportsmanlike conduct on this Friday, 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
No disrespect to Frankie Muniz. Do you think that I could become a good race car driver pretty quickly? I know he's been doing this for all of his life, but I like to consider myself a pretty good driver. I'm an excellent driver. What's so good about Frankie Muniz? Like, how did Frankie Muniz decide he was going to be a NASCAR driver? Is he just a good driver? And those things have manual transmissions, right? Mm-hmm. That'd be tough. I think that'd probably disqualify me.
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Friday evening forecast will include clearing skies with temperatures cooling into the mid to lower teens. I'm tracking a morning low of 10 degrees around daybreak Saturday. For your Saturday morning to the early afternoon, a lot of sunshine and temperatures rapidly warming into the mid to upper 40s. By the afternoon, I'm tracking a high of 47 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent. More dependable, service that exceeds the norm. Good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's.
Take your basketball game to a whole nother level with Omaha Sports Academy. Tryouts are right around the corner for youth boys and girls, February 27th and March 1st. For high school girls, March 5th. For high school boys, March 12th. You can be part of a program that will take your game to a whole nother level. You can practice and play in top-notch facilities with OSA-trained coaches under the oversight of a full-time professional coaching staff that's got a lengthy resume of success. It's the only program in Nebraska on the Adidas Gold Circuit. So ensure your opportunities to college coaches regionally and nationally and be your best. Learn teamwork, responsibility, and much more with Omaha Sports Academy.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, where we sell more Chevys than anyone in Nebraska. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo, or at SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cobb's at the Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, or 72nd and Jones to grab a delicious pizza, burgers, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. They even offer keto crusts and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cobb's, now with 3 convenient locations to serve you. Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and 72nd and Jones. Click cobbspizza.com to see the menu, pizza, and so much more.
The Creighton women's basketball team had their deepest run ever in March, making it all the way to the Elite Eight. Find out how far they will go this season. Don't miss any of the action all year long on 1180 The Zone or on News Talk 1290. Coil.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
So I can come punch you in the face.
The 1620. The Zone.
It is a one beer Friday. Holy moly. You know what else it is, Ravi?
What's that?
Well, it's time for you to, well, not you. I always say this. It's time for the listeners to register.
Okay.
For the 5K giveaway on 1620thezone.com. They can enter to win $5,000 to kickstart their 2023.
Wait, why can't I register?
Well, because you get a paycheck.
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, as often as we do.
Yeah.
As often as we do.
As often as I submit my talent form.
There you go. All the details and enter online right now at 1620thezone.
So, to be clear here, they don't have to run a 5K to get the 5K.
I don't know what you're talking about there. Just talking about $5,000.
This isn't talking about you running. You can answer a question on behalf of the.
You just got to register online.
Okay. You don't have to run. You're not registering for a 5K.
No, we could do one of those maybe.
You're registering for 5K.
Not
There
for
you go.
a 5K.
Correct. There you go.
There's no running involved.
Nope.
Nope.
Just run into the internet.
Or run into your bank account to cash that 5K.
Boom. Man, how good would that feel? Can we give him a big check, Nick?
Oh, I would love a novelty check.
Yeah, with the Zone logo splashed
I
on
should
over
ask
it.
to get paid in novelty
Let's put
checks
all of
from
our
now on.
faces.
Like Happy Gilmore.
Let's get a check with all the faces of all the people on Zone on it. Just
I love
watermarked.
this. I love this idea.
What do I got to do to get one of those big checks?
And then he started getting him. We got a text coming in that says, still trying to figure out why Robbie doesn't like Kingpin. Cocaine Bear was awesome. Had it all. Comedy,
People
gore,
hate that you hate Kingpin.
scares, and made the best
Really hated it.
decade in the 80s. It made my top 10 of favorite movies. Hopefully 1620
All
does more
time?
events. Wow.
Oh,
I mean-
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, not
Oh.
Kingpin.
I mean,
Yeah.
also, top 10 for Cocaine.
Bro, you need to watch some better movies. No offense. Like, I really enjoyed Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
But top 10 all time?
Cocaine Bear is like one of those like fun, dumb movies.
Yeah. And thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
It was super fun. I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable watch, you know.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Can't
that.
get too deep into it because we gotta wait for Ket.
Yeah, he's coming up in 20 minutes, so we'll put a pin in this conversation. All right, Big East teams that you did not include were all of them in this exercise.
Yeah,
we already talked a little bit about UConn. Why no Marquette? Why no Creighton? Why no Xavier, Providence, etc.
Marquette.
And let me actually ask you a
Sure.
different question first. How much did you just purely rely on the metrics versus your own feeling about these programs?
So,
because you're really obviously leaning on the. Is it just like This is what's happened outside of UConn being an outlier. I'm going to use this. Full
Not
stop.
just that, but I'm looking at the teams that I think could win it, right? Just of teams I've seen, that's why I pointed out Arkansas. Like when Arkansas is really good, I think they can beat anybody. And so that's why I kind of put them in the Final Four tier. But the metrics don't put it like the metrics were my qualifier between Final Four and national champion, right? Because there's a bunch of teams I think could make the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think Marquette can make a Final
Basically
Four.
all the teams I just mentioned, right?
I think Creighton could make a Final Four. I think Gonzaga could make a Final Four. I think Baylor could make a Final Four. I think Xavier could make a Final Four. I mean, the Final Four list is enormous.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of predicting, a George Mason run, that's I'm not even including those types of teams. The Final Four list is enormous, maybe even bigger than the 2025 that Stanford Stephen and SVP had. But once you get there, to me, there has to be a separator between a Final Four team and a national title team.
It's just like saying, can that team make the playoff in college football? So
Yes.
this last year, like we saw.
You're watching TCU and you're like, yeah TCU. But we also saw the gap between TCU and a national
they
champion.
made it all the way to the title. And if I would have said to you the morning of the title game, TCU can't win the national title, people would be like, you're an idiot. And yet we saw what happened. They got beat 65-7.
I think there's a bigger gap between a Final Four team and a national title team than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason I consider for a lot of teams, and I said this at the beginning of the year for Creighton, if Creighton made a Final Four, that would feel like a national championship to me,
Mhm.
because that's something I never thought could happen in Creighton when I started rooting for Creighton as a kid.
Yeah.
And they're in the Missouri Valley, right? So I think for a lot of teams, and that's why people make such a big deal about the Final Four
Yeah.
in college basketball. Is
It's why it gets like its own banner.
it does. It gets its own banner
You
because
know?
it's essentially the top of the mountain. But that's why there's
for all but a few teams.
But there's a big gap between that and a national title.
Again, because you got to win 4 games to get there, and then you have to win 2 games,
against
usually
the best teams in the country.
Yeah, and especially the second one.
And
you know?
the talent level is so high.
And the pressure.
The pressure's
the
enormous.
goofiness of playing in a
In
cavernous football stadium.
And like the whole thing is so weird and so difficult to do.
Yeah.
And if you're
Jim Nance giving ties out.
if you're and terrible puns about your nickname.
Oh, last year with Jim this
every
season.
dog has its day.
Let's go Iron Eagle. Can't wait. Can't wait.
But it's just I don't think people appreciate the extra level of difficulty there. So in my mind, I use the Ken Palm stats to whittle down from, hey, these are teams I like that could make a Final Four, to these are my actual national title contenders. That's why even though Creighton qualifies with the Ken Palm stuff, I don't think they're a national title team right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though Texas doesn't quite qualify with the Ken Palm stuff, based on what I've seen and them being in the neighborhood, I do think they're a national title contender. So it wasn't strictly on the metrics. The metrics were just the final filter for me to get from 40 Final Four teams to these are my actual national.
Indeed, baseline to baseline.
So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. It definitely does. Jordan says no Creighton because any team who gets abused by Nebraska ball shouldn't win a natty.
That's fair. I mean, fair.
Also, harsh from Jeff. I believe this is about Kingpin. If there's anything we can be sure in life, it's that if something is good and everyone likes it, Ravi Lula will hate it. That's not true.
Ravi's not a contrarian.
That's not true.
Yeah. I would not say Ravi is a contrarian.
No.
He will offer contrary takes.
Like
at
for
times.
instance, I said this last week with Dumb and Dumber. It's not my style of movie. I understand why people think it's funny.
Mhm.
Kingpin felt like it was trying to do that,
Mhm.
but did it poorly.
Yeah.
So I was just totally
It's
out
so
on it.
funny, seriously, how like this is sticking in people's craw. We ended up spending many minutes talking about it yesterday
Yeah.
at dinner before we went into the
It
movie.
did, yeah. There's a lot of things that people like that
The guy
I
came up behind you. He was like,
enjoy.
"How didn't you like Kingpin?"
Summer. I enjoy summer. People, that's a thing people
Oh,
like.
Man, I love summer.
Steak.
I'm more of
I
a
really
fall
like
guy.
steak.
You're more of a what guy?
Fall guy.
Fall is the
That's
best.
a good contrarian over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fall is the best. So you got
Pizza.
football coming back.
I really
Weather's
like
good.
Halloween.
I like pizza. I like
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
I like pizza. I like beer. I like Christmas. There's a
Wow.
lot of things people like
Some
that I
Zon,
like.
some brews.
Yeah.
See?
And if this is about Thanksgiving food, well, then you and I are on the correct side of the argument here.
And
like, turkey's
that's the
just
wrong
not-
one because
turkey's just not
turkey's
good.
so good.
You want some turkey?
Turkey's
Yeah,
just
sure.
not
When
good.
else are we gonna have turkey? Never.
You can have turkey anytime.
I'm
When's
just
the last time, Nick, that you were like, "I'm getting a turkey leg" outside of
If
Thanksgiving?
I put a turkey leg in front of you or a ribeye in front of you and you don't choose the ribeye, I can't trust you as a human.
Yep.
I have ribeyes more frequently than I have turkey legs.
Yeah, 'cause
exactly
they're
because it's better.
No, I just don't have turkey that often.
But I thought it was so good.
I mean, I always get turkey as lunch meat. When I go to the deli, I always get turkey.
Only time I do turkey on a sandwich is if I make a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like the other day, I did ham, turkey, bacon, and a bunch of
Yeah,
other
it's
crap.
not a standalone sandwich. Though.
Oh, it
You'd be
absolutely
like,
is.
is there any meat on this sandwich or just weird crap?
Turkey and Swiss on wheat. Ooh,
Oh, that sounds horrible.
it's so good.
Anything else? Like mayonnaise or pickles or anything? Or is
Oh,
it just
like mustard.
the
Turkey,
sandwich is getting worse
Swiss
by the second,
mustard
Nick.
on wheat.
Yeah,
It's a tough hang.
it's good.
Very tough hang.
But yeah, no, I like a lot of things that other people like.
There you go.
I just don't feel pressured to like things just because people like them.
Nice. And then Andy says, Josh, what was it that you can do once you turn 35? I believe he's trying to get me to owe a quarter. I can run for president.
Oh,
That's just a term.
Yeah.
I think I could do. I'm going to maybe try this year. When I turn 35, I could.
President P.
President P.
Ooh, can I be vice president?
Hell yeah, you
Let's
can.
do it.
VPL.
Let's
Vice
do it.
President L.
Can I be a cabinet person?
Hard pass.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. Nick,
You're not old enough. You're a child still.
I can be in the Senate.
I think he's allowed to be in the cabinet, though.
He can
We'll
be.
put him literally in a
Just
cabinet.
put him in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Nick, you can do
in the
that.
White House, though.
Like Harry
Yeah,
Potter
sure.
style. He can like live under the
Yeah,
stairs.
yeah.
Oh, can I get a house elf?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't believe I read it and I didn't
really
see the movie.
pro-slavery, Nick. That's a tough look.
Okay.
Whoa,
Okay.
Nick. I couldn't believe
Free the
that,
house
that
elves.
the elf's name was Dobby.
Yeah.
Not Dobby. There's
Dobby.
only one B though. So the whole time I was reading, I was like, oh, it's Dobby. Then one of my friends was like, no, it's Dobby. I said, JK has some real rough takes. I was proven right.
I gotta be honest.
Fair.
I read it as Seamus for a very long time.
And it
Instead
was
of Seamus.
Seamus.
I read it as Seamus. Wow.
The Seamus
See,
boys.
I never saw the movies though. So
Yeah, it wasn't until I saw them. I was like, oh, Seamus. That's how you spell Seamus, huh? Feels like there should be an H in there.
I know a Seamus. He works for Nebraska. It has an H. Is this a British thing?
Yeah, the traditional
I've never
British spelling is SEAMUS.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen
Or Irish
Seamus with an
spelling.
H. I think I've always seen it as Seamus.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, and that's talking Harry Potter. We still have. See, this is what happens with Ravi. We still have a million things to get to. We've not even mentioned the Creighton Villanova game.
We'll get to it.
I'm going to mention the stat that I have for you.
Let's get the stat.
And then and we'll also talk to Nebraska. We have week 1 Seahawks Broncos on. So we have to
Let's ride.
We
Let's
have
ride.
to get to the Russell Wilson
I read
story.
the whole story. We
It's
have to get to it.
Incredible.
It's wild.
God, we're running out of time. Robbie, we only have 2.5 hours left.
Well, you
Nick,
have
we're
to get to
staying
Russell
an extra
Wilson.
4 hours tonight.
We have to get Russell Wilson.
We have to get to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
We'll do that after Kent.
Okay.
So after Kent, we'll do Russell Wilson, then Nebraska ball.
Okay.
And then it'll be One Beer Friday, and then the
And then
show's
the show will
almost
be over.
Good Lord. It's just flying on by. That's what happens when you're having fun. All right. We'll
Are you doing the stat now, or are you waiting on the stat?
Doing the stat next.
Okay.
We're doing the stat next. Kent
All right.
Walgeman's going to join us in 15 as well. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this One Beer Friday, 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
When cancer hits home, when you need answers and hope, turn to Nebraska Medicine, where cancer care is world leading and personal. In one visit, you'll meet with the team specializing in your cancer, discover treatments based on your DNA, and the support that makes a difference, like a nurse case manager and multiple locations, so you can always be close to home. For cancer, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/cancer.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Join Genesis Health Clubs today for just $10 and save $20 per month every month with no contract. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs, here with the secret to healthy fitness habits. It's true that there are plenty of people who manage to stay consistent with exercise over lunch or after work, but the real secret is scheduling exercise into your daily routine. Pick a time, and that is your time to exercise. What is more important than your health? Nothing. So what time are you working out tomorrow? I'm inviting you to give it a try by joining Genesis Health Clubs for just $10 and save $20 a month, all with no contract.
This offer will not extend. These rates end forever on Tuesday.
Whether your exercise is at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., schedule your exercise because it's the most important part of your schedule. And now life's little interruptions won't stand in your way. Make today your day for better health. Come into any Genesis location or go online and get started for just $10 and save $20 per month with no contract.
These rates end forever on Tuesday and won't extend.
Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com to get started today.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Turning to the state parks, there's nature to experience. Woo, woo. The playgrounds, campgrounds, and trails are open. Be sure to check out the naturalist programs. And for spring wild turkey hunting this year in Nebraska, hunters take note. There are some major changes because of lower bird numbers. See us at the Game and Parks Commission for more information. That'll do it. I'm Greg Wagner.
Peerless Energy Systems is Nebraska and Iowa's locally owned and operated authorized Sullair air compressor distributor. Peerless Energy provides products and solutions for compressed air systems, helping companies in manufacturing, food processing, transportation, auto body repair, car dealers, and more drive industry efficiency through service, support, and relationships. Let Peerless Energy Systems help you increase efficiency with your compressed air system today. PeerlessEnergy.com.
Are you looking for tickets for the next big event? Be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. They're going to take care of you all of the best seats to the biggest local events, and they've also got great seats to events nationwide. Now, the one thing with ticketsforless.com that I love is they never charge per ticket fees. And you know what? With that, you can save hundreds of dollars over other resale websites. You can lock in a special discount right now when you use the special code THEZONE at checkout at ticketsforless.com. Simply enter the code THEZONE at checkout, and you're going to earn an exclusive listener discount. Memories for life start at ticketsforless.com.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Alongside Ravi Lula, Nick Graham, I'm Josh Peterson. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this Friday. David texts in, Jesus, Nick, can I own living beings? That was a tough hang, Nick.
I didn't ask to own one. I just asked if I could have one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, ownership is implied there if
it's a house elf.
Yeah.
And by the way, Kelsey points out that his name is spelled Dobby. So I thought it was Dobby, but it is pronounced Dobby.
Oh, is it not Dobby?
See? And I was
It's
like,
Dobby in the movies.
oh, really? See, I thought one of my friends said it was Dobby.
No.
All right. Well, Kelsey, she said she has a Harry Potter tattoo, so she obviously knows.
I'm just saying, in the movies, they pronounce it Dobby.
For some reason, I thought that like I remember reading
Hello,
it one
Dobby.
way and it was pronounced the other, and I was very confused.
Well, they also say it with a British accent, though, so maybe they are saying Dobby, but it just sounds...
I don't know. I'm going to stick with Dobby.
Dobby.
Okay.
I've literally never heard anyone call him Dobby.
Yeah, neither have I.
Dobby, oh Dobby. That's
Dobby
the shark
calls
in
himself a
Anchorman
Dobby.
2.
Yeah.
All right, I got a stat for you.
I'm ready.
This is via Riss, who you know. You've hung out with her.
We have met, yeah.
On multiple occasions. So after the loss on Tuesday, she loves diving into numbers with things. And Creighton, of course, they had such a great first half and a poor second half. And so she decided to go and look at all of their games in the Big East Conference and stumbled upon this. Creighton has only scored more points in the second half versus the first 3 out of 17 times in conference play. And so I went back then and I went a little bit deeper. So the 3 times, DePaul on Christmas Day, they scored more points in the second half than they did the first. That was a win. At UConn in early January, they scored more in the second than they did in the first. That was a loss. And then at Butler in mid-January, another victory. They also scored the same number of points in wins versus St. John's and Xavier. They scored the same in the first and the second half. So my question is this anything that they are scoring more points in the first half than they are in the second? Is it like, I know in the end you just want to have more points on the scoreboard. And so some of these games maybe are up by a lot in the first and you're not. And so it doesn't really matter, but certainly it mattered that they were better in the first half than they were in the second on Tuesday in the loss versus Marquette. So what do you think? I'd never really thought of this until we were having a conversation after that game.
Yeah, I mean, Obviously you'd like to improve at halftime rather than have it kind of slide back a little bit, but I don't know if it means anything.
Yeah.
And it sounds startling.
Yeah.
Just kind of right off the bat.
And I think back to like various play-by-play games that I've done. And one of the things that I'll do in soccer is I'll look at first half scoring versus second half scoring because I want to see, and that does feel a little different, of course, right? Because soccer has fewer goals.
Yeah, it's a smaller amount.
And so like if a team has 3 times as many goals in the second half than the first, like I think that's something.
That's significant.
And I do that with like the Creighton women's team, as I called, quite a few games this year. I would look at them and their opponents like, okay, what's happening in the first quarter? Fast starts. Like the UConn game I called. That was one, talking to Flan leading up to it, it's like have to hold serve early. Because if you can do that, you can maybe take advantage of their lack of depth in the second and fourth quarters because UConn's been super injured this year. And I would say, look at the games. The first game, they did not hold serve in the first quarter against UConn. They got smoked. In the game in Stores, they did, and it went down the wire, and they should have won the game because they dominated in the first. Not dominated, but they did well in the first, and they dominated the third quarter. And so I definitely think there is something to it. And I guess I do look at that stat, but so I guess
I'd also be curious what the margins are. Like if you're scoring 40 in the first half and 39 in the second half, that matters a lot less.
There were a few of them like that. It wasn't like 50 and 28.
Like on Tuesday, it was 40 in the first half, 31 in the second half. That was a problem.
Yes.
Right? Because if they had been able to duplicate the first half, or even if they get, 39 or whatever, you win that game.
Definitely.
So if the gap is large, then yes, that's for sure a problem. But I'd have to see what the actual margins are, what the plus minus is from half to half to make any kind of determination, because that feels like one of those things that could be a little misleading.
Well, not to mention they've had a good year.
They've won most of those games. I mean, they're playing really well in conference. So especially, I would imagine that the first Marquette games in that category too, that's without Ryan Kalkbrenner, and that's one of the losses. So you take that out, they're 12-4, which you're happy with, for the most part, right? So I don't know that. I think the differential in first to second half is going to be more important than the number of games in which it's happened.
Kent's hanging out in the green room, so just real quick on the Villanova game. I wonder where you think, like just the mental side of moving on from that loss. How much are you thinking about that ahead of tomorrow? Because it's not just
I haven't thought about it at all.
Really? Like
I'm
the
thinking
team moving forward?
The whole thing I've thought about is Villanova is really scary right now, especially at Villanova.
So that's the concern.
That's been my entire. Honestly, I stopped thinking about Marquette by Wednesday.
No, but like the team, like moving forward.
I mean, they didn't have a problem bouncing back from the Providence double overtime. So I'm okay.
Okay.
I haven't given it a thought either for myself or for them since Wednesday.
Okay.
So to me, it's really more about Villanova's really playing really good basketball right now. They're scary when they're at full health and you're playing them on the road. That to me is the only thing that's entered my mind with this game.
Okay. That's coming up tomorrow. You'll have pregame at
9.
And maybe a breakfast burrito in town.
9. Maybe a taco.
Breakfast
maybe a taco.
with Ravi.
Yeah. Maybe some croissants from
No, I do love a croissant.
Yeah.
Croissant.
From BK.
Not from BK. I don't go BK breakfast anymore.
They got on the croissant.
I
list?
used to. Loved them.
It was my favorite.
But that they.
You know what happened?
What?
I got into coffee, and McDonald's coffee better than BK's coffee, so I go to McDonald's more often than BK.
They stopped making their hash browns as crispy, and
they're very soft.
I'm out now.
And plus the McDonald's potato cake, big fan.
It's solid. It's better than it used to be. But the
burritos are better at Burger King though.
The potato rounds from Burger King were elite. They were the elite breakfast potato from fast food places.
Yeah.
But it's falling off hill.
See, not Nick. I'm more of a sandwich guy. So at BK, I get the croissant, and then at
I do a
McDonald's,
McGriddle.
I do the
I do like
the
McGriddle
biscuit
at
at
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Love a McGriddle.
So, and that's talking breakfast.
Love breakfast.
All right, when we return, Kent Walgamont is going to join us. We're going to talk cocaine.
Cocaine,
And-
also a
and
part of
bears.
a healthy breakfast.
Oh, well,
For the bear, it was.
for the bear.
Yeah,
Well,
I wouldn't endorse
it.
it.
Made the bear hungrier.
It did
All right.
for more cocaine.
We finally will review the movie when we return. I'm looking forward to this conversation. That's coming up next in the Movie Club on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, heads up, it looks like a two-car crash on eastbound 370 in the area of 108th is slowing things down. We've also got a stall causing slow going on eastbound Dodge, blocking the right lane at 72nd. And then there's a stall on southbound 72nd near Mercy Road, also blocking the right shoulder. And then if you're northbound on Happy Hollow Boulevard, getting reports of delays with the stall at Dodge. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
What does Saul's loan on? Almost everything, like jewelry, gold chains, bracelets, earrings, wedding rings, and high-end watches, guns, electronics, $10 to $50,000, super fast and easy with no credit check. Saul's loans on almost everything.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Looking for a fun business, team building, or meeting idea? Look no further. Golf DJ's Dugout. Try the fun and new golf simulator at DJ's Dugout 10th and Capitol downtown. Great for groups and individuals. Party packages are available, and you know DJ's has a huge selection of delicious appetizers, food, and drinks that your team will love. DJ's amazing media displays are great for business meetings, too. Golf DJ's Dugout downtown. For more information, visit djsdugout.com. That's djsdugout.com.
On the podcast, The Last Soviet, Lance Bass from NSYNC shares his own experiences of astronaut training in Russia. Yes, that's true. And tells the story of the final cosmonaut, a man trapped in space while his nation crumbled to the ground.
His name is Sergei Krikalev. He's a Soviet cosmonaut, and he's manning the world's only space station, the pride and joy of the USSR.
Listen to The Last Soviet wherever you get your podcasts.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Friday, the final day of the week. These are the voyages of the program Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Its ongoing mission to explore strange new movies, to seek out new bits and new edification, to boldly go where no radio program has gone before.
Oh, Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club. Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club.
It is indeed, and it's the movie we've been waiting for since we first saw the trailer sometime last year, Cocaine Bear, and we welcome Kent Walgamont onto the program right now. Kent, good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are doing fantastic. We're ready for the spring weather to arrive in like 24 hours. We're ready to get past the cold.
Can I ask the first question of Kent?
Sure.
We know whenever we do these interviews, you always have a connection to some of these people. Have you ever interviewed Cocaine Bear?
I have not.
Okay. Wanted to make sure first.
No interviews with Cocaine Bear. Look, I think, this movie is, the things that could get spoiled are really just the violent acts. So maybe we try to avoid the specific way that people died. But, for the most part, I think this movie goes exactly like you expected. It's based on a true story of cocaine, of a drug guy throwing it out of an airplane. And days later, they found a bear dead, surrounded by cocaine. That was the real story. Obviously, this movie took a lot of liberties with that.
Did it?
Yeah, just a couple. We've talked about it a little bit today, but not too much. I thought that for what it was, I just love that it leaned into all of the bits that it could have, right? Like it understood that it was supposed to be a funny movie. I thought that the jokes landed fairly well throughout. What did you think of Cocaine Bear?
If I put on my movie critic hat, all right, what I'm going to say is it is very similar in the sense of to Snakes on a Plane, that the title tells you exactly what it is.
Yep.
Right? There's no, and that it's gory, right?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which takes it, some of these kind of movies try to go PG-13, right?
Yep.
And this one is like, nope, we're going the other direction. Okay.
Yep.
So that takes it into that realm. It kind of, the joke is the same joke, right? All the way through, really.
Yes,
Okay?
over and over and over. Yeah.
They anthropomorphize that computer generated bear. He does stuff that humans do. I will not tell you, I will not describe the action, but at one point he snorts coke off of a leg. Isn't it a leg?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's anthropomorphized, right?
Yeah.
I thought that it kind of ran out of steam maybe 20 minutes from the end. Because there really isn't, as you say, if there's a plot, it's barely a plot, right?
I'd say the plot is really trying to find the two kids.
Yeah.
The mom looking for the kid.
That's sort of the plot.
It's like a
But
LaCroix.
then you've got the whole drug dealer with Ray Liotta sending out the two guys, and and that's going on. And then you've got, I thought Margot Martindale.
That was hilarious.
I thought she was the best thing in the movie, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a shall we say, Randy park ranger who has her eyes on what that guy. What would you call that guy? He's kind of like an animal expert.
Environmentalist. Yeah.
And she and all of this is just kind of a setup for the coke-addled bear to go on a rampage, right?
Yes.
And when I saw it this morning, let's just say that I don't think 10:30 or 10:45 or whatever time that is a great time to see this movie. There were like 8 people in the theater, I think I counted, not including me, so 9. I'll bet it was more fun. You guys, I assume, saw it in a pretty crowded theater, right?
Yeah, with a bunch of listeners.
Yeah. So it was probably way more fun with a whole bunch of people than just kind of sitting in there almost with, like I say, 8 people. But for what it is, everybody that goes to this movie knows what they're going to this movie to see.
Correct.
A bear.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to get some, this is appalling or this. And because of that, and you want to go for the jokes, for the comedy, on that level, it works just fine. If you're evaluating it as a great film, I don't think so.
So Ken, I did want to ask you about that as a professional movie critic. When you go into movies like this, how much do you take into account like what they're trying to be versus obviously this is not fine art cinema, right? But in terms of self-awareness and knowing what it is and staying in that lane, it kind of nails it.
Right.
So how do you kind of balance that as a movie critic? How much do you consider what the movie is trying to be versus what it is, I guess?
What I try to do, okay, is not is review, critique, whatever word you want to use, what's actually on screen and not what I think this should be or
Yeah.
right. And in doing so, then I really do take into account here's what they're trying to do with this movie. Okay. Then you take that and then add the elements of, acting, plot, cinematography, all of those other things that make a movie bad or good. But I think you have to look at it in what it's trying to accomplish, not in some sort of, idealized, here's what I think it should be. And it didn't.
Here's what I think movies should be. It's like, yeah.
That's not, I don't know. I know there are people that do that, but that just doesn't seem right for me.
Couldn't agree more. And so I wonder then, Kent, what did you think of their decisions to, I mean, for lack of a better term, like they did try to have some heart in it, right? Like I think the mom storyline, I think, is the most heart, of course, built.
And the mom, by the way, is Carrie Russell.
Yeah, and she was great.
I think it's important to note that you got people like Carrie Russell and Ray Liotta and Margot.
A lot of people in this.
Yeah.
And
Margot
Ice
Martindale
Jr., whatever it is.
Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I always remember
and he
him
was
from The
good
Wire.
too. Isaiah Whitlock is good.
So that's the thing, right? It's I mean, it's cheeky and fun. It leans into everything that it is, but it also has some real, good actors.
Yeah.
And I think
you got the young Han Solo, Aaron Reich.
See, and it's so funny because I'm scrolling.
Yes,
Nick, I've been doing the same thing as I've been looking at the cast. And I'm like, okay, who is that again?
Yeah.
The guy from the very beginning of the movie who his wife.
Matthew Reese.
He's Giantsbane from
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
You've got, I believe his name is Jesse from Modern Family, is the environmentalist.
I just figured that out right now. Yeah.
So you have a ton of people in this
There's
movie.
a lot of people here. Yeah.
So what did you think, Kent, then of them obviously having all of the fun with the cocaine bear of it all, but then having these kind of, I mean, the as you mentioned, just kind of the drug kingpin storyline, the mom storyline, etc. What did you think of how all those elements work together?
Well, they worked okay, right? It doesn't really. This isn't the kind of movie that you're trying to. It's not a plot-driven, storyline-driven movie, right?
Yeah,
that's just there to keep the bear moving, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
And because of that, I think they worked okay. I think it did what they wanted it to do, and it's good, gory, fun, right? And I think that's all they wanted to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
I have two questions about this movie that I have not, and I looked around a little bit today, seen any answer. One, why didn't they show the bear the first time it did coke?
Yeah, good question. Because like when they see the bear the first time, it is already coked out of its mind. It's rubbing its back on the tree.
I wonder if they did that because if you see the bear do coke and then that's it, you saw the movie right there. I wonder if they were specifically holding off until the part with the leg, just to try to keep people around or not dismiss it right away.
Yeah.
And the second one is, why did they film this in Ireland?
They did?
It was filmed in Ireland.
Weird.
There must have been like a weird incentive
credit.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I had no idea.
That's so bizarre.
I didn't either.
Yeah, County Wicklow, Ireland.
County Wicklow.
August 20th and October 17th, 2021. Weird.
Because I'm an idiot and I watched the credits, you know. And I'm sitting there and it comes up Ireland, and I'm like, what?
Odd.
That's super. It's like why all those movies film in Georgia,
Yeah,
right?
'cause
They
the
have
tax credits are crazy.
So I bet it had to be something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you would do.
Nick, what did you think?
I thought it was a good one-timer.
Like, yeah, probably not gonna watch it again.
I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I had the experience. It was cool seeing it in theaters. The only other time I might watch this is if I'm showing it to a friend or a group of people who I know haven't seen it, just to see their reactions. But it's more like a kind of a party movie, I guess, is what I would call it.
It's better in a group.
That's
for
why
sure.
better in a group.
I'm really happy we saw, like Kent mentioned it. He didn't get the environment that we did. I'm happy we had the environment that we did. Oh, sorry.
So I was just gonna say, it reminds me of in tone of like Zombieland. In the sense of a very gory comedy movie where the plot's not that important. It's like the zombies are just there to provide the plot device for the comedy.
Yep.
But what actually, I can't even tell you the plot of Zombieland. I just remember it's Woody Harrelson being funny and there's a ton of gore and whatever. And it's a pretty solid movie. But again, not one that I'm like, you know what? I really need to rewatch Zombieland.
Yeah, and Kent, you said it earlier. If you're going to see this movie, like you know what you're getting yourself into. And so what I found interesting last night, just listening to the way that people were laughing throughout it, was like there were kind of the broad jokes that would get a lot of laughter. And then there were some like the real twisted ones. I was sitting next to Josh Otson, who was sitting next to John Bishop. And there were a couple times where it was just us three laughing. And I was like,
definitely there was a couple times where I felt like I was laughing alone because I was sitting on the opposite
you were on
end.
the other side.
And I and I was like, people are going to think I'm a crazy person.
That happened to me once or twice,
Our
too.
boss and his wife were very close by. His wife, and didn't know if I heard a whole lot of laughter from that part
Mark
of the
was laughing.
theater. Okay,
He
good.
was,
So
because he was like two people away.
yeah,
from me.
so
He was
that's what I
laughing.
liked about it. It's like you find out who like it really has a
He's
sick
a real
twisted-
sicko.
which is us.
Yeah, I could see that. This is not an identical comparison, but when Bull Durham screened, it was a deal like yours that I saw it with radio station listeners. And you get to the scene where Nuke LaLoosh has been called up to, and this place was packed, right? Been called up to the major leagues, and they're on the bus, and Crash Davis says to him, all right, now you got to work on your cliches, right? I'm the only person in the theater that laughed.
What do you think about the background visual gags? I only noticed one. I don't know if there was more, but the phone booth. There was that sign,
The
that
billboard
next to the phone booth.
It talks about something caverns.
This something caverns, and then it says home of the
Original glory
original
hole.
glory hole.
Hodson pointed like I missed
But I
it.
didn't know if there were any other visual gags like that, or if that was just kind of the one.
I missed that. I did like their use of the "this is your brain on drugs" stuff.
That was
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
that was
this
really
movie.
good.
Yeah, let's mention that. So the movie is set in the 80s,
1985,
and so there's obvious. I mean, that's the height of the war on drugs and like that, all that type of stuff. And so they had the commercial. Nancy Reagan makes an appearance. A bunch of people make an appearance in that commercial, and then one of the through lines of it is these kids and their involvement in just trying to really escape the bear, but accidentally. I mean, not accidentally. Can I say how they ingest the cocaine?
Yes.
He ate the cocaine. And it's like, what in the world are we doing? And so, like, that was pretty funny, just given that the kids then were asking questions as the movie went along.
What if
Are
a
they gonna
bear
get in trouble?
accidentally
That
ate
was funny.
cocaine
That
just
was a
one
funny
time?
Yeah, that was well, the mama bear and the papa bear would be mad. That was pretty good.
Oh, also, we didn't say this is a mama bear.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
a lady
female
bear.
We find that out in a very specific scene.
We do.
I'm not going to go into that either.
Bye for the best.
I'm just
the thing with the kids, to me, was one of the most interesting things in the movie, because these days that harkens back to like maybe even like Bad News Bears or something, where you have these transgressive kids, right? These kids, the kid that's smoking and living in the pool hall and all of that in Bad News Bears. These days, you don't see kids in that kind of a situation, much less kids inadvertently doing coke. right?
Eating cocaine.
I will say I have to give the kid actors some credit, especially the little boy.
Yeah, who was in the movie a lot.
He was in the movie more than the girl was. I thought they did a pretty good job because children in movies often very much annoy me.
He was the right balance.
Yeah, I thought he was actually really good in it, and he didn't bug me at all. I thought he was actually really funny.
Yeah.
which is really hard
He had
for
good
kids.
timing.
Yeah, he had really
Yes,
good
very
comedic
good timing,
timing.
yes.
It's really hard for kids to pull off in a lot of movies, and like frankly, off the top of my head, I can't remember that many that do it where it's not just a kids movie, where they kind of do it in concert with adult actors.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty impressed by the kids in the movie holding their own.
My biggest annoyance with kids in movies is sometimes it's painfully obvious that it was an adult writing lines for a kid in the movie.
Yeah.
But these kids,
it felt pretty genuine.
It sounded like
Yeah.
kids.
It sounded like kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, one last thing I wanted to add. I think this is actually kind of funny. Elizabeth Banks directed this, right? Comic actress turned director. And I saw her quoted in a whole bunch of interviews about this could be the end of my career.
Oh, really?
Right.
Funny.
If the thing stiffed or totally stunk and everybody hated it or whatever, she was afraid it would do her in. I think she's just fine. That thing did $5 million in business yesterday. And
Wow.
Whoa.
So what is it tracking for the weekend then?
Well, who knows?
What's that, like 50 million?
Probably.
If you get
I don't know if
get a
it'll
nice
go that
rating
high,
like
but
that?
I guarantee you they didn't expect those kind of numbers for last night.
So Cocaine Bear very much has the feel of what a cult classic movie should be, but is it even fair to call it a cult classic at this point?
I would say right now, I mean, it's definitely a novelty movie,
Right.
where, again, like Kent said earlier, the title explains it all.
Right.
You want to go see it for the title. I mean, the response is going to kind of tell the story, I think, the cult classic. But I would say it's more of a, right now, I think it's more of a novelty. Like, I want to see the movie. It's called Cocaine Bear.
Right.
And it's maybe the best example of the same thing that Snakes on a Plane did, which is you take this title, you put out a really good trailer, and you get people to come to see it, and it does what it delivers, and it's way better in that sense than Snakes on a Plane. Whether it becomes a cult movie or not depends on whether people will want to see it more than once.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I'm going to see it more than once.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
Also, it might end up being one of those movies that if you happen to go scrolling by, you might watch it for 10 minutes just because you're going to see something that's probably pretty funny.
Yep.
And the odds are also you're going to see something that's really pretty gory.
Really gory.
My absolute favorite kind of running joke throughout the movie was toward the end where everybody involved just kind of has a general distrust of animals.
Yeah.
After that.
That was pretty fun.
That was really, especially the post-credit. There were post-credit scenes, by the way.
Also,
3 of them.
Kent, how about the fact that this movie, I don't know if you had trailers that you're showing, with trailers and commercials, still not even 2 hours. I mean, this thing.
There's always trailers when you go to the.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, nice, because we had a coworker asking us about it today, and he was like, "How was it?" And we basically said all the things we've said on the show. And then I said, "Plus, man, it's 90 minutes.
Yeah,
with
it's a nice tight
with
90.
the trailers, it's still not even 2 hours. You're in and out of the movie theater." Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have been known to, like, not so much with this because I figured there might actually be people show up, but if I go to a movie in the theater that I know I'm going to be one of 4 people in the theater, and you can kind of know that, like, I didn't see a screening of Tar, so I went to it at like 11:30 on a Friday morning or something, and I knew I'd be the only person in there. There'd be 3 people, so I wait until like 10 minutes after it's supposed to start to even go, because I don't need to sit through those trailers.
Yep. Well, it was funny too. Last night we saw the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer 2 times. Quantumania.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And then I was like,
I can explain that for you. one of those trailers is actually put on by the theater.
Oh, and the other
one
one's
of them
attached?
comes from the distributor with the film.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like they should work out the kinks on that one. Only give it to us one
I'm
time.
guessing that was the first time it was screened, and that the theater will drop its.
Okay, so they learned.
Yeah,
Like,
they
okay.
learned.
All right.
People don't want to sit through the
Programming.
same trailer twice in
No.
10 minutes or
I don't
whatever.
see that movie. I don't want to see that movie. I'm good.
Like the bear learned that red duffel bags meant Coke.
That not to give anything away, but there was also another duffel bag, and that was pretty funny too.
Yes.
So that's Cocaine Bear. Again, if you go in knowing what to expect, you're going to really enjoy it. If you're
Yes.
going in expecting it to be Shawshank Redemption,
It is not.
it's not going to be.
Oh, it's the next Interstellar is what I would call it.
There you go. So Kent, as it continues to be the end of basketball season, I think we mentioned this last week. John might be out. There's a world where John doesn't come back on a Friday until like April. So we have allowed our Phil and Ravi, who will be here again next week, to pick the movie. And so are we gonna rewatch Kingpin again?
And we are not.
Okay.
So I've got one. This is out of left field here.
Okay.
Okay.
What streaming service are we going to?
HBO Max.
All right. We like that. We like that.
All right. It's called Star Trek First Contact.
Yo, that's my favorite Star Trek movie.
It's a so this
Wow,
is, this,
Ravi.
This
I
is the
love this
reason I
movie.
picked this, okay?
Okay.
I assume you haven't seen it, Josh.
Nope.
Kent, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's actually got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's
Okay.
very well
So
regarded.
good. Okay.
And I think it is the most self-contained Star Trek movie. So you don't
Okay.
have to know a lot of other things to appreciate the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, there we're going. We're going there.
Hell yeah, Robbie.
Watch it on HBO Max.
Yep.
All right. I just tweeted out the link.
I love it so much.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the first two of the new Star Trek
Oh, the
movies.
Abrams ones?
Yeah, so I saw the
So those
09 one. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw the sequel. Maybe I saw the third one.
I saw the third one once, but it was a while after it came out.
Yeah.
But the
That's
first one was really good.
First one was great.
I love the first
So
one.
here's part of the other reason I chose this one is I genuinely really like this movie.
Okay.
And I want to know if it's actually a good movie or if it's just a thing that I like that sucks, which I'm okay with.
Okay, yeah.
But I just want to know.
Kent, when's the last time you saw this movie?
I've seen it once, probably.
Okay. So
Probably when
probably
it
the
came out.
90s when
Okay,
it came out.
there we go.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
All right. So Johnny,
I will tell you on the early Star Trek movies, every other one is good, and it starts with the second. So 2, 4, whatever.
Yeah, the evens are good. And that continues actually through the new ones. Basically through First Contact, which is an even number one. The odds are bad.
Save the Whales was interesting. That one was fun.
There be whales here.
Jimmy says, nerds, JK, great pick, Ravi.
Thank
All right,
you.
there we go.
So yeah, I want to see what other people who are not necessarily in the like nerdy Star Trek sci-fi world actually think of the movie.
Another it's just a good
I think
pick.
I legitimately
explains
think
a
it's a
lot
good
in the
movie.
universe too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Plus the music is from Star Trek.
It is.
In El Kent's Movie Club. So we'll do that
True.
next week.
There we go.
Kent, do you like Nebraska tomorrow?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. How weird is it? Like a month ago when we were talking about him, we were like, can this season end? And now it's kind of exciting. Weird.
Yeah. For most Big Ten schools, getting into the NIT is a disappointment. If this team can win 2 out of 3 and maybe win 1 in Indianapolis or wherever the tournament is this year and get into the NIT, that's a hell of an accomplishment considering where they were a month ago.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will watch Star Trek. We will talk about it next week. We'll see where Nebraska is at following 2 more games.
Star
Kent?
Trek First Contact.
Star Trek
There's
First
lots
Contact.
of different
There's
ones.
a lot
There
of
are
Star
a lot
Trek.
of Star
We
Trek.
will
Gotta make
watch
sure you get
a
the right
Star
one.
Trek.
Yeah.
We will watch a Star Trek. Can't have an awesome.
And make sure you watch the right one.
Yeah, that's true. I think I tweeted out the right link, so we'll First Contact.
First Contact.
First
That's
Contact.
that's the best one.
First Contact.
Absolutely.
Ken, have an awesome weekend.
You do the same.
Hi, Kent.
All right, that is
See
Kent
ya.
Watermont joining us in the movie
Did you
club.
see Andy on the stream? It's
Andy.
the Citizen Kane of bear movies.
Oh, well, hard to argue with that. Also, listener Jimmy, who I know listens a lot, I feel like he doesn't know my co-host, John Bishop, because he says, I'm sure John hated it. Jimmy, do you know John?
He loves immature humor.
Yeah, watching
Yeah.
people die in horrible ways.
John's
There's one
favorite
death in
thing.
particular that he was laughing for like a minute straight. It
I
seemed.
saw a tear.
Yeah.
I think I know which I have to assume.
Yeah, we'll mention it off air. Yeah. Some extra bit of information on the volleyball matches that are coming to Memorial Stadium later this year. We can recap that for you if you missed the news. We'll give you that when we return. Also, Nebraska, Minnesota, Russell Wilson, the
Yes,
athletic
that's
story,
right.
and it's almost a One Beer Friday.
We're almost done.
Gosh, we're almost done. Predictions, content, and more. It is
Allegedly content.
Nick seems happier now. His spirits have been lifted.
It's because he loves First Contact. He was so excited.
Dude,
I
I've
picked
never
that
seen
movie.
Nick as happy as
It
he
is
was. in
my
that.
favorite Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's by
ever.
far the best Star Trek
It's so good.
Even
It's really
better than the
yeah,
the 09
it's really,
version?
really good.
I love the 09.
The 09 is very good.
09 is so good.
Yeah.
But First Contact is
I might
perfect.
watch Star Trek 09 this weekend. I might rewatch that.
That's a good movie.
I love
It's
that.
so good.
Yeah.
That you want to talk about a movie that flies by like the show has? That movie. It's like,
Yes.
wait, it's already an hour and a half in.
Yeah, we're done?
It's almost over.
Yeah.
All right. Plus Lens Flare. Lens Flare. It's a J.J. Abrams movie. All right. Lots more to come on this One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone. Hey everyone, Josh Peterson for my friends at Kugler Vision. Just a few days left in the month of February, which is Love Your LASIK month at Kugler Vision. Still celebrating with the special LASIK savings just for you. Go to their website today, kuglervision.com, to find out more of the details. And then, of course, change your life for the better. It has now been 5 years since I had a procedure done that changed my life. And I'm still talking about it 5 years later. 5 years ago yesterday. Remember going into the consultation process in the month of January 5 years ago, wondering, is this something that I qualify for? I mention him a lot, but I have a friend who he went to a different place and was told, hey, you don't qualify for LASIK. So I was a little bit worried. I was also told I didn't qualify for LASIK, but that's okay, because if you're like me, if you're like my friend and you don't qualify, they still have 6 other FDA-approved forms of modern vision correction, so they can probably help you out. And so whether it's going to a movie, whether it's going to a football game, baseball game, basketball game, a volleyball match at a big football stadium, whatever it is, where you sit, you'll be able to see the action as clear as possible. No pressure, no obligation consultation. Schedule one today, 402-558-2211, or online at kuglervision.com.
Previously on The Crossover.
They were eating poop left and right. They did. Do you guys not remember this?
They're eating poop?
Eagles fan eats horse poop. February 6th, 2018.
That was one person.
It's a new thing, probably.
Cowboy fan derangement syndrome.
No.
Come back in full force.
No.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Friday evening forecast will include clearing skies with temperatures cooling into the mid to lower teens. I'm tracking a morning low of 10 degrees around daybreak Saturday. For your Saturday morning to the early afternoon, a lot of sunshine and temperatures rapidly warming into the mid to upper 40s. By the afternoon, I'm tracking a high of 47 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, heads up, a crash is still causing delays on eastbound 370 at 108th. A stall is still blocking the right lane if you're east on Dodge around 144th. Same goes if you're south on 72nd with a stall blocking the right lane at I-80. And then it looks like if you're east on I-80, you can see delays starting at about 108th going to 72nd. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $908 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
For unmatched cardiac expertise, put your heart in the right place with Nebraska Medicine, where you'll find the most heart advances in the state, telehealth appointments to make your care even more convenient, and a genetics clinic to help avoid future heart issues. With multiple locations, our world-leading care is just a heartbeat from home. For matters of the heart, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/heart.
Home is with you wherever that may be. Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first and experience the difference. And trust me, you will at their climate-controlled indoor showroom, 119th and I. Plenty of new and pre-owned inventory for you to find that perfect car, truck, or SUV like the 23 Buick Envision Essence. Check this out right now. Great vehicle, unique design that enhances fuel economy, reduces wind noise, panoramic moonroof. Take it for a test drive today. See it in person, 119th and I, or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. They've streamlined the process. They made it easy on you. 119th and I, WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
1 in 3 people in the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro is facing a mental health challenge. Mental health first aid training helps you learn the signs and gives you the tools to start the conversation. Call 211 or visit UnitedWayMidlands.org to sign up for free training today.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Omaha Maverick women's basketball is home for their final regular season game, welcoming Denver to Baxter Arena Saturday. Tip-off is set for 12:15. Hear all of the Omaha women's action against Denver Saturday at noon on 1180 The Zone.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Unsportsmanlike conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peters.
Sportsman vibe conduct on 1620 The Vibe.
On 1620 The Zone.
It is a one beer Friday. We will be enjoying very, very shortly. You can be enjoying right now. Let us know what you are drinking. Hashtag one beer Friday.
I like beer.
Dude, me too.
Beer is good. Yeah, beer's good.
Travis texts in to 402-951-1620, which that number still works that way, just not when you call us.
Can't call us. For
Travis
some
says, is
reason.
Nick going to actually watch the next movie, or will he just get caught up binging The Crown? Michael, something similar on YouTube. Nick was just happy because he doesn't have to do the homework of watching the movie since he's seen it already.
I will be watching First Contact.
Chuck says, Nick liking First Contact, not surprising. When did that happen? 18? Last week? Then he adds, I cracked myself up.
Oh, is that a virginity joke?
Nailed it.
Nice.
Nick, First Contact, it can happen eventually. You'll get there.
I hope so. I hope so, guys.
You'll get there. I mentioned there's some extra news on the volleyball at Memorial Stadium front. So have you seen this? Have you heard about this? If you missed the news earlier, Nebraska announced that they will be hosting a doubleheader at Memorial Stadium near the end of August. Happer and Josh did some recon on the average temps for that type of day.
It's gonna be hot. I
believe 85 was the number that they quoted. So it'll be toasty.
It'll probably be nighttime. It'll be like evening, right?
The Nebraska one, yes.
The UNK one will be
correct.
hot.
That'll be, I believe, at like 4:30.
Yeah, that'll be warm.
Yeah, that'll be hot. Very hot.
So are they doing the concert after the Nebraska one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll take place.
I think they should do the concert while they're playing volleyball.
Oh, that'd be fun. I mean, plenty of room.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Might as well.
Little
soundtrack to your volleyball.
Here's a
Why
way,
not?
Ravi, that they can cool themselves down.
How's that? Beer?
Abby Baremore from Husker Online tweets out within the last 20 minutes. Nebraska AD Trev Albert said they will go to the Board of Regents and ask for a special exemption similar to what they did for the Garth Brooks concert to sell alcohol for Volleyball Day. That's what they're calling it. In Memorial Stadium on August 30th.
Well, I think that's why the governor was there. He had to officially declare it Volleyball Day.
There you go. Alberts and UNL's administration have not done that yet. So they are trying to get more beer. Hopefully this is more successful than the first time because there were lots of stories about running out of beer.
Sure.
You know, because we like beer here.
They're laying the groundwork
Dude,
here.
they really are.
Brick by brick.
Yep.
To get beer into the stadium.
Yeah, and obviously this year they have beer at basketball games for the first time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprised if we see it at baseball games within the next
Baseball and beer is almost essential.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they don't have it.
Like, I almost don't even want to go to a baseball game if I can't have a beer.
And that's why you don't ever go to Haymarket Park?
Yeah, but it's
unless
part
it's for
of-
a Salt Dogs game.
Well, yeah, I do love the Salt Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I do, it's just kind of the part of the experience.
Yeah.
You just want to go out, sit in a nice summer night, and have a beer.
Some
Beer's
sunflower
always been a
seeds.
part of baseball.
And there happens to
People
be
forget.
a baseball game going on too.
Yep. Speaking of baseball games, there is one right now, but we turned it to the NFL Network. We did that because a story came out via The Athletic earlier today.
It did.
Dropped out of nowhere.
It sure did.
I always love when I wake up and I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, what do I want to talk about with Ravi and what should we discuss? Kind of know the things we have to get into.
And then you're like, what the hell?
What is this story? Russell Wilson's first year with Broncos, too much influence, too few wins in disorganized disaster. Well, hell yeah, I'm in on this story. A couple of things that stood out from this read from The Athletic, and props to Catherine Caller, Mike Sando, and Jason Jenks for putting this together. In the pregame call, I'm reading the story. In the pregame call before his first start against his former team, Wilson shared moments with players, coaches, and staff from his decorated 10-year Seahawks career. But Wilson and Pete Carroll, the quarterback and coach who won the only Super Bowl in franchise history, who turned the Seahawks into a decade-long winner, did not speak to each other on the field before the game. Their post-game embrace after a 17-16 Seahawks win was quick and awkward. Adding to that, Ravi, convinced that Pete Carroll and John Schneider were inhibiting his quest to win additional Super Bowls and individual awards, Wilson asked Seahawks ownership to fire both of them, according to league sources who spoke to The Athletic on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the details. Wilson also had a preferred replacement in mind, Sean Payton, who had recently stepped down from the New Orleans Saints. There is a ton of stuff in this piece. Obviously, recommend you subscribing to The Athletic if you do not. By the way, the Wilson camp, they described the call for Carroll and Schneider's firing as entirely fabricated. I'm going to side with the reporters on this one, though. It's pretty crazy, man, that he went to ownership and asked for this, and then they basically got rid of him right away.
Yeah, it was within like days, wasn't it?
And they ended up being so much in the right. It is so funny that they are holding him back from Super Bowls. They are holding him back from individual awards. And this thing, man, it runs through a lot of the crap that happened in Denver.
Yes.
Him having his own office on the second floor of the team facilities.
Own office and staff?
And
by calling his own meetings?
And how about this? One more excerpt. In his first appearance as Denver's head coach, Payton told reporters that Heaps and other Wilson staffers would no longer be working from inside the facility. We're not going to do that here, he said.
He might be the least self-aware person I've ever seen in my life.
Best way to describe him, man.
Because whether it's the cringy let's ride stuff or him trying so hard to be this cool public person, or the, hey, let's call meetings on players' only day off.
Yeah, he would do that on Tuesdays.
Or I'm the reason we won the Super Bowl. You guys are the problem. And being obviously super wrong.
Yeah. He's so much worse now.
He legitimately thinks, I mean, because it wasn't, they line this out in the article as well. It wasn't just the Super Bowls. It was the individual accolades as well. He thought he should have been winning MVPs. He legitimately thinks he is a Brady Rodgers type of quarterback. And he's just not that guy.
He's worse than Dak last
and he has no idea.
Yeah.
He has no idea that he's not that guy.
I'm happy you brought up the Tuesday meetings thing because he would this was funny. So Wilson occasionally showed clips from his time with the Seahawks. Said what offensive player. It was kind of like he was going down memory lane with stuff he'd done in Seattle. It was very strange some weeks. So, like, I don't know how you read that, but I almost imagine it, Ravi, is like they have these meetings, let's go over some film, and then he'd kind of show a highlight from the old days, and then you just start, oh man, remember that? Look at this play. Hey, let's watch the NFC Championship win over the Packers again.
The other thing that I really took away here was, so the other coaches, the real coaches, I'll call them, got a hold. I mean, they had copies of the scouting reports and evaluations that Russell and his team were putting together, And they were like, yeah, they're very thorough. They're just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they were putting a ton of work into this, but they're just idiots.
Yeah, and Hackett, I mean, obviously, he comes out of this looking horrible. Russell Wilson comes out of it looking the worst.
Yes.
But Hackett comes out
second worst.
He comes out looking like a pushover.
And Pete Carroll comes out looking like a genius.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and John Schneider come out looking like geniuses.
They bet on themselves. And, we had the game on, as we mentioned. We had the Monday Night Football game from week 1 on. They win this game. They go on to the playoffs.
Not just that they bet on themselves, but they bet on the fact that they were right, that Russell Wilson isn't who he thinks he is, and he is who they think he is.
And in the process, it's not like they just released the guy. They traded him.
They got a king's bounty.
Yeah, for a guy who stinks now.
Yeah.
And look.
And maybe he'll be good with Peyton. I don't know.
You and I have talked about that. Like, if there's one coach that I am like, okay, well, this could be different.
Yes.
It would be Sean Payton. Do I think they're going to win a Super Bowl? No.
No.
I think he can be better.
He can be returned to being like a competent QB because he wasn't last year.
Dude, it's nuts how fast it fell off because remember, you mentioned the MVP a second ago. Remember the start of 2020? They played the Patriots on a Sunday Night Football game, and that was kind of the storyline that came out of it. He's never won an MVP. He's never even received an MVP vote, forgetting that the NFL at the time, their MVP voting structure was who is the MVP, and it's not like you did anything else. There was no ranked choice
like
voting.
1, 2, 3 or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that was the narrative coming out of that game. They were pretty solid. Something changed in the latter half of that season. And
basically almost exactly the halfway mark.
Fell off a cliff. They end up making the playoffs. They play the Rams in the first round at home, mind you, because they won the division. An injured Jared Goff travels in, and he was the backup, and he ended up playing because whoever else their other quarterback was got hurt for the Rams.
Probably John Wofford.
And it was, thank you. And the Rams beat him. And so they lose, and then, another drop off in 2021, and here we are. Look, I was so wrong on this guy's career. Early on, I thought that he was a quarterback that was going to lead them to multiple Super Bowls. And it just seems like what he is as a human being, you said lacking self-awareness. I think that's a huge part of it.
He's like if Michael Scott was an NFL quarterback.
That's a great way to describe it.
Like, honestly, he just has no idea how everyone around him feels about things. And he has no idea how good or bad his performance is.
Can you imagine in the
like
NFL?
Michael Scott thought he was a lock for the corporate job because he was so good at his job.
Yeah.
Not realizing that everyone else viewed him
as an idiot,
as a total joke.
Can you just imagine as a player, as a teammate of his, Tuesday or one day off a week? It's like you got to roll into the office.
There's 0% chance.
And they said participation was solid at those, so crazy.
It's one of the wildest, in career stories.
Yeah.
Of things that aren't criminal or whatever.
Sure.
Scandalous. This isn't a scandal.
And they can't get rid of him.
They still owe him $240 million.
Man, that would suck. So we feel for our Bronco fans. We know that many of you are out there in our audience.
That's right.
Feel for you. God, they were such a funny
You're
team.
just talking directly to Stibbs there. Just
Stibbs, if you're listening, I just want you to know I am thinking of you.
It's so crazy to me that he is such a departure from who people thought he was.
Yeah.
In terms, even go to looking at a year here, 2019, 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
That's a good year.
It's a really good year.
That's a really good year. And now he's this guy who is just a huge albatross of a contract.
Tweeting from 30,000 feet says Russell Wilson comes off as a complete phony.
He does.
Perfect way to describe him.
He does. That's we were talking about Joe Burrow earlier. That's why I like Joe Burrow. He doesn't come off as a phony to me.
He is that.
He might come off as a little cocky, but I think who you see is exactly who he is, because I think he's so confident. He doesn't care whether or not you think he's cool.
Yep.
And that's what makes him cool. And Russell Wilson is basically Alex Rodriguez in the sense that he wants everyone to think he's Derek Jeter, and he's not.
Nope.
Like if Jeter is Tom Brady, he wants to be Tom Brady so bad.
And he's not.
And he is not that guy.
And he's not even Alex Rodriguez.
He could never pull off the gift baskets.
No,
ever.
He definitely could not. So yeah, highly recommend giving it a read. It's if you hate the Broncos, you're gonna love it. If you love the Broncos, you're gonna hate it. And if you're indifferent on them, I still think you'll find enjoyment in it.
It's really
I'm pretty
interesting.
indifferent on the Broncos, and I found it very enjoyable.
I'm indifferent on the Broncos. I've become very anti-Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When we return, we'll look ahead to Nebraska basketball's game this weekend and more. It's a One Beer Friday coming up soon.
Beer.
We'll be enjoying beers that are not IPAs because I'm a good friend of Ravi.
I really appreciate that.
I do what I can. We'll talk some Husker football in the happy hour. Also, we have predictions. John still doesn't send his in, that jerk. And content with Nick Grimm.
Maybe.
You keep saying that a lot.
Maybe. I don't buy it.
Because Nick, I'm just previewing the rest of the show.
Sounds like you'd be protesting too much.
We're running out of time.
Previewing the rest of the show.
Look at that. Show's over.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this Friday. One Beer Friday, in fact, on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton women's basketball is back at DJ Sokol Arena on Monday as they host the Butler Bulldogs on senior night. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus Butler, Monday at 6 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duct Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. Cleanairradio.com.
Omaha Sports Academy is celebrating 15 years of youth basketball in the Metro, and spring and summer programming is coming. Omaha Sports Academy will help your athlete reach their maximum potential and take their game to the next level with focus on cutting-edge trends and high-level skill development. OSA athletes have fun learning the game the right way in top-notch facilities with OSA professional staff. Get all the details at omahasportsacademy.com. OSA Crusaders, earn your right.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
Your 13th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is third in the NCHC and has secured home ice for the playoffs for the first time since the opening of Baxter Arena. Because of you, Maverick fans, they're fourth in the nation in attendance. Get your tickets now for the final home series and senior weekend against number 5 St. Cloud on February 24th and 25th, and for the playoffs on March 10th and 11th. Let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or at omavs.com/tics.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Just announced. Well, we've been saying just announced all week, but it was announced recently. Jelly Roll is coming to Omaha. Ravi, you know about Jelly Roll.
Of course.
Bringing along the Back Road Baptism Tour with special guests Ashley McBride and Struggle Jennings to the CHI Health Center coming up on August the 25th. Tickets went on sale today.
Today.
You can go to 1620thezone.com for your chance to win a pair. Not before you can buy them, because you can buy them now, but all the info
You
can
can
be
win
found
them,
there.
though. Win them.
You can win them. All the info right now at 1620thezone.com.
Those are all definitely things I've heard of.
1620thezone.com?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Love it. Great website.
I love it too. Yeah. Just
You
go
can
there
watch
right now.
us right now. Hi.
Friends, go there right now, 1620thezone.com.
Hello.
Feel free every day. Stop by, say hello.
See if we got any cool stuff on there, because a lot of times we do.
Hello. Zone Deal. Wow. Zone Deal sold out super fast today.
Zone
It did.
deals, Jelly Roll tickets.
Jelly Roll
There's a
tickets.
bunch
Come
of
on.
other online giveaways on 1620thezone.com right
That's
now.
what I mean.
Nice. Bios. If you're like, man, I wonder what Josh's bio is.
Or if you're like, hey, I wonder what Nick's bio is.
What is your bio?
It's good. I got to write it. It's in my voice.
Oh.
If you're wondering what my bio is, you have to go to my Twitter page, because I don't have one.
I don't mention Mr. Casey. Ugh.
You should, Nick. Put Mr. When Nick.
That should be your entire personality on radio, is just traumatized by Mr. Casey.
I mean, it is kind of his
I
personality.
mean, it's the reason I didn't keep playing football.
Yeah. So, and it's a reason
Maybe
he didn't
take
get
some
into football
maybe-
until recently.
Maybe take some personal responsibility there, Nick.
Oh.
I mean, I also hated football. It didn't
Well,
bother
there
me.
we go. Thank
Nice.
you.
And now you love it.
He
You
pushed me
also-
over the edge.
Now you
See?
say football
Yes.
better than
He
Formula
was
One.
a contributing
No,
factor.
I like watching football and analyzing football, but it's the same reason I like Formula One. I like to analyze.
The Analyze Boys.
I do like to analyze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. Look, man, that's what we do on.
Kinda, yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of the job.
Wow, Travis texts in. Much like many of Texas A&M fans, IPAs are stupid and racist, and really bitter about their lack of success. What the hell does that mean, Travis?
How are IPAs racist?
Imperialism with the Brits in India.
rats.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's a little racist.
People forget about the East India Company.
Yeah.
Well, I never do, Nick.
No?
Nope. Apparently you do, though. Very sad. Ravi, Nebraska basketball.
Hello.
Every time we talk about this team,
Hello.
there's more positivity attached to them.
The Positivity Boys.
Nebraska, they look to continue their winning ways.
The Positive Boys.
Pick up their fifth win in 6 games tomorrow as they host Minnesota 2:30 tip. So it's perfect for the J-Skers out there. You watch the Creighton game at 11, then you drive home. You watch the Nebraska game at 2:30.
Well,
I know
they don't have to drive home. They can watch them both at home.
that's how I'll be watching both of them at home
Yeah.
on my couch. Probably have a
because
margarita
it's a road game for
during the
Creighton,
Nebraska
so you
game.
don't. You can't.
Oh,
go
a
down.
marg,
that's
huh?
right. Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to invite somebody over to have a marg with you?
Oh no, he's in Arizona now.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he would. I could text him. I guess I don't think he would. He would come.
Not come and hang out with you.
I don't think so.
What's your
What if you invite him to Golden Tea?
What's your go-to tequila for margs?
Altos or Alto?
Oh, I don't know that I've had that.
ALTOS.
Okay.
Let me show you. It's I get the I always forget. Is it Reposado the second one? Yes, Reposado.
I like a Blanco.
I
but-
get the Reposado, so I get this one right there.
Oh, okay.
Add a little jalapeno in there. get
Oh,
little
you're a
spicy.
jalapeno marg guy.
Oh yeah.
All
so I'll
right.
be doing that tomorrow. I asked you a question earlier about Creighton, about like mindset, turning the page, and you were Dikembe Mutombo. Get that garbage out of here. I don't want your stupid questions.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to be dismissive. It's just
I felt dismissed.
I was a little taken aback by the question because I really hadn't thought about it after Wednesday.
Well, if they lose tomorrow and Mac is like, yeah, we just couldn't get past the Marquette game, I want you to apologize to me.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'll just be like, oh, I was wrong.
So let me ask you this then about mental components of games. How big of a concern do you think it should be that Nebraska, after this stretch, they have had a week off, and now they host the worst team in the conference? I don't know how many times this week I've heard from somebody, man, wouldn't it just be a typical Nebraska thing to lose this game? And the answer to that, of course, is yes. I just don't know how much of a concern it should be. I guess the answer is it should be because it's Nebraska, but I wonder if that's something that you have thought about as this week has gone on.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to, just given their history of kind
situations.
of letdowns in these types of situations. And so I think it's reasonable to think about that, but I don't know how much the time off has to do with that. It's more just the situation and who they're playing. The other part of it is Nebraska's playing good basketball right now, but they're not so good that they can really overlook anyone.
Sure. And so that shouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be a
tomorrow,
problem in overlooking them, but it also means they're not so far above a team that it's a given win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're playing. I
So
think
that's kind of the different. Like when Butler goes to Georgetown in the Big East, Butler isn't so good that they can just overlook Georgetown, despite Georgetown being really, really bad. And so to me, Nebraska and Minnesota are kind of a similar dynamic. Like, yes, Nebraska's better than Minnesota this year for sure.
Yeah.
But are they so much better that a loss is crazy to think about? No.
It's funny too, because John and I were talking yesterday about them and this run that they're on and how it happened, why it happened. And one of the things that, and look, it's not like the Wisconsin game's that long ago, but I had just kind of forgotten about is, the season has gone on. So they played Wisconsin 2 weeks ago tomorrow. They won that game in overtime by 10. They were down by 17 points at one point in that game. And so, there's a very real world where this fun stretch of winning 4 and 5, a couple of them in overtime, there's a very real world where they're 2 and 3, 1 and 4 in this stretch. And all of the good vibes that are attached to them right now are gone. I would say, kind of going back to what you just said a moment ago, this is not a team that can overlook anybody. And it's definitely not. And it's not a team that's way out ahead of its skis in terms of being better than Minnesota. It's not. They have gotten basically the most that they could have out of this schedule, this recent stretch. They got beat by 21 against Michigan. So they beat Penn State by 9 points at home. They win an overtime game by 10 against Wisconsin. And remember, Chuck Yetburn had a really dumb look, but he had a 3-point shot that was in the air, potentially could have won them the game. The Rutgers performance, I honestly think is the best of this stretch.
I think so.
Front to back. And then they had the overtime win versus Maryland.
Rutgers has been really good at home.
Yes,
so absolutely. That's a really important part of that equation there. So I agree with you that Rutgers was the best performance of that stretch. The other thing you have to remember, though, and I know this is a very different team than it was at the beginning of January in terms of how they're playing and everything like that, but this team went to overtime with Minnesota the last time they played.
Yeah, they won that game by 2.
So you can't look at this and say, even though, you go to Ken Pom and he says 84% chance Nebraska wins and he's got it as an 11-point game, I don't think you can go into this I don't think there's any game you can go into as a Nebraska basketball fan on their schedule and say there's 0 chance we lose here. I just don't think you can do that.
Definitely not.
And so
this is probably the closest to, but
in conference for sure. Yeah. But that's the closest to is still, Ken Pom has an 84. I'd call it, 70-30, which is still, you should win that game.
You're still comfortable picking Nebraska to win.
But it's not crazy if they lose. That's just kind of where they're at as a program right now. And yes, they have way more to play for right now than Minnesota does. So you'd like to see them reflect that in the way they play and continue to play good basketball here. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
I continue to I get genuinely excited to watch Keisei Tominaga play, and that's how I feel right now as I'm looking at, I'm planning my weekend. I'm excited to watch him play basketball.
Yeah.
And I think that the coolest part, whatever happens this season, whether they do or don't make the NIT, Fred's obviously going to be back. The memory of watching him kind of come out of nowhere to not out of nowhere, but to do what he's done in the last 5 games, putting up at least 20 in all of them. And some of the moments, that's pretty special. And so I wonder, can he do it again? The answer, I guess, is yes, because he
can do it again. The question is, will he do it again?
That's
the other thing you have to think about here. The sample size of him being a reliable go-to scorer is still fairly small. So that you have to look at that and say, okay, can he do it again? Sure. How good do you feel betting that he for sure will do it again?
Well, I'm happy you said that because his point total will show up later today. No, not point total today. Today we're doing 3-pointers made. That will show up later today in predictions.
That's part of the thing that has to be tricky here is I think his performance, even though in the last 5 games has been really, really good, I still think that's a fairly large variable considering his entire sample size at Nebraska so far.
Yeah, definitely. So that game coming up tomorrow at 2:30. Enjoy it with a marg or without one. Either way, just enjoy the basketball while you are not driving home from the Creighton game. I guess if you are driving home from the Creighton game, you'll listen on the radio.
Yeah.
And don't have a marg.
Probably on some kind of a stream because you'll be in probably Western Pennsylvania at that point if you're driving home from the Creighton. That's a long drive.
It's a real long drive.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Philadelphia.
That's got to be 22 hours?
To Omaha driving.
I'm sticking with 22.
18.
Okay,
Oh,
Taylor
a little
Swift.
short.
Not bad.
Okay. I mean,
Not
it's still
bad.
pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't know why I said not bad. Not bad compared to what
Compared
you
to
said.
my 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 4 extra hours in the bank.
Yeah. I mean,
So let's
unless
see.
you're stopping for lunch and
You definitely would. You would need dinner
yeah, probably lunch and dinner
and a hotel, unless you want to do the straight through.
Yeah, 18's too many for me to go straight through.
You'll get home on Sunday morning, and then your weekend will be toast.
I top out at about 12 hours
Ooh,
straight
toast.
through.
I like toast.
Toast is good.
Sure, yeah.
Folks, do we love toast or do we not love
I'm here
toast?
for
Oh,
toast.
we had this question, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did. All right, when we return, it's a One Beer Friday.
Already.
Yeah, I know. The show is almost over.
My bad.
Why do you apologize?
I
I was
don't
going to apologize to you.
Well, I don't care.
Yeah. Nick, do you want us to
Does
apologize
anyone
to
need
you?
to apologize to for the show going so fast?
Do we need to apologize to Nick for the crossover?
No, I'm
Do
fine.
we need to apologize to you for
Like I said,
content? Because it's probably not going to happen.
Crossover was just a question. I just wanted specification.
We're going to get to content next hour, I promise.
Probably not.
It's fine.
I'm not going to pinky promise, but I will
If we don't get
promise.
to content, we still get good content out of it anyway.
Wow.
Oh, what a team player.
Wow, what
Well
a guy.
done.
All right, later content. No, just kidding.
There it
Got
is.
it.
We'll see what we can do. But when we return, are we talking about Dylan Raiola too much?
Let's talk about him some more to find out.
Let's talk about it some more to find out. It's a One Beer Friday when we return on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, no wrecks to avoid as you make your way across the metro. If you're west on I-80, expect delays between Q and Giles. If you're east on I-80, delays between 84th and 72nd. If you're headed west on Dodge, you could run into delays between Rose Blumpkin Drive and 90th. And if you're south on 84th, delays between Harrison and Giles. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Love Languages, presented by Fernando's. For spending quality time.
Let's go out and get tacos.
Come and feel the love at Fernando's, 75th and Pacific, 114th and Dodge, and FernandosOmaha.com.
NRG Media, the parent company of this radio station, is looking to hire a client marketing coordinator. This person will work directly with our sales account executives to create and execute multimedia marketing campaigns for local businesses. Critical and creative thinking are must-haves. If you're organized, goal-oriented, and have a marketing mind and are proficient in Microsoft, go to the careers page at nrgmedia.com for more information and to apply. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Roof of Greece.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw. It would be nice to have a plug. Throw from your mom.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer.
Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer.
Friday!
You probably have Beer Center each week. Ralph Club, biggest contributor.
Beer. I like beer. I don't know if you like Beer Center or not. What do you like to drink?
Next
I had one beer. Friday. Yeehaw!
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do, and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was... Nope, it was one beer. Friday.
Oh, baby! It's a One Beer Friday, friends.
Beer.
Crack them open.
Not bear.
No,
Not
beer.
bear.
What if it was one bear Friday?
What if it was a cocaine beer?
Wow, that smells. That doesn't even smell
That
like
would have been
spring.
a good promotion for the movie.
That smells like summer.
For the
Oh,
movie
man.
people. The movie people would have done that to promote their movie.
Today,
Oh yeah,
is that what you were looking for?
Perfect.
All right, good. Because
Perfect.
so I texted Ravi today.
Oh, that is good.
Look, I'm happy that I did well. I texted
Oh, that's
Ravi.
that aftertaste.
Yeah.
I texted Ravi and I said, "Hey, what did I say? Like, hey, do you want?
Yeah, you're like, what do you want?
would you like me to buy?
Yeah, you're like, hey, I'm at an establishment where
Yeah, I'm
you.
gonna stop by a store on the way in. What should I get?
And I was basically like,
I was, and for the record, you said don't give me an IPA. I wasn't getting an IPA. That's why I asked you, what would you like?
yeah, you said what kind
You
of
just
beer
wanted
do you
it
want?
on record.
And I said I'm okay with something new.
Yep.
Which this is for me.
I've never had this
before.
Yep.
Just not an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
I said maybe something kind of like an easy drinking
Oh.
type beer.
And
This is a porch beer for sure.
This is a
Friends I
spring
delivered.
ass beer.
we today are drinking.
This
from,
might be a full summer beer.
See, I think this is a summer
I think it's
beer.
a full
You know what this
summer
beer makes me think of?
Dumb debates. Is
When I
this a
was-
summer beer or a spring beer?
You know, like when I was a kid, my dad and his friend would be working on some cars down in the barn.
Yep.
This tastes like that.
This would be like
summer
one
and
of
spring.
John's mowing beers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
this would be one of my watching the hired help mow the lawn beers.
Wow. That you pay.
Yeah.
Not like Nick and
hired.
his house elf.
That's what hired means.
Yes.
You
Yes.
pay them.
I just wanted to make sure that was on the record that
Yeah,
you pay people.
Yes, I pay people to provide services at my
Nick's
home.
like, can I get a house elf to do all my chores?
I didn't say. I just asked if I could have a house elf.
Problematic.
What if I just
And
wanted
he
a
was like,
buddy?
can I reteach
You didn't
J.K.
say could you
Rowling?
be. You didn't say could I be friends with a house elf. You said can I have. That's possessing a house elf.
You were like, can I watch Formula One with a house
Can
elf?
me and Dobby be buds? That's
Yeah.
not what you
No,
said.
here's
Well,
what I
can't be
imagine.
Dobby. Spoilers.
Whoa.
Jeez, Nick. Some people haven't read the books or seen the
I'm
movies.
still not over it.
I feel like Nick would have Dobby over and be like, get on the ground so I can put my legs on you.
I wouldn't do that.
Doesn't
to
that seem like
Dobbs.
a Nick move?
It does. He'd be like, hey, be my footrest.
Yeah, you're my
Dobby."
table. Stop moving. You're spilling my beer. Today we're drinking from Sierra Nevada. Sunny little thing. It is a citrus wheat ale. Picked it up at Hy-Vee today.
Delicious.
It is very good. Look,
It's like the perfect amount of citrus.
I really like this a lot.
So I went in, like you said, I wanted a spring beer because screw the 20 whatever.
No, we're trying to manifest
screw the
warm
1
weather.
degree, waking up to 1 degree.
Hate it.
Yeah, go to hell.
After you made it cold.
After I made it cold, but friends,
Thanks a lot.
24 hours from now,
it's gonna be warm.
The Nebraska game will be done. I think it'll be walking
Folks.
time. Banks and I are gonna go for we might do that after the Creighton game. Either way, we're walking tomorrow because it's gonna be spring weather tomorrow.
There should be a little gap between
Yeah.
the Creighton and the Nebraska game. You have like an hour in there.
And then I'll have my marg afterwards. And then Sunday it's gonna be almost 60 degrees. So
Nice.
I wanted to
Have your marg on your walk.
Maybe I'll go work on the boat.
That might be illegal, Nick.
That might be.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if you have it in a coffee mug,
You put it in a little one
Turvis.
of those, you know.
A marg mug?
Yeah.
I've done that before. Now, not for walking, but maybe Nick, that doesn't sound like the worst idea.
I've been
Elevate
meaning
the
to
heart
ask
rate
you
a little bit though with
Yeah.
the marg on the walk.
I've been meaning to ask you, by the way, Ravi.
Yeah.
Your boat.
Yeah.
You have a suit for your boat yet?
Not a specific suit.
You're gonna get like a sailor suit.
So I am gonna get some attire for the boat. I'm gonna go full yacht attire on this one.
Polo and then sweater around the neck.
No. That's bro attire. Yacht attire is like you got the blazer, you've got the pants.
The sweater that you tie.
No, that's broy. I'm not going broy.
Sorry, is that what you just said?
Yeah,
Nick?
he
I
did.
was looking for a tweet.
Thanks for paying attention.
I'm sorry, I was looking for a tweet.
To your own show.
I was looking for a tweet.
You're not gonna go full like nautical, just like the blue and white stripes, little hat.
I mean, like a sweater, like a nautical sweater works on colder days. You can also do
What about a sweater that you tie?
What if I wore a polo with a sweater that I
What
tie
about a
around?
sweater around your shoulders,
No, I'm thinking like
Robbie?
a blazer, maybe a cap. I might get a captain's cap.
Ahoy.
Boat shoes,
Are you gonna go
kind of a
full-
nice.
Oh, Sperry's?
Like, yeah, I have some Sperry's. But
I
you
used
gotta
to have
get
Sperry's.
You got to get real Sperry's, not like the walk around Sperry's. They have some that are better for actual boating. But like a pair of like linen pants and a blazer.
Are you gonna ask us to start referring to you only as the captain? Are you
No.
gonna go full the captain from How I Met Your
No,
Mother?
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, so I was trying to find a tweet. So yesterday you tweeted out a picture of you in a suit, and Nick just referenced you in a suit. There was a tweet that I saw that was really idiotic to you, and so I was like, where is it? So I opened up the show more replies. This tweet is from an account you muted 3 times. So one of these is the doozy that one of them makes fun of your head size. That's rude. Another one, something with Charlie Murphy. Oh, here it was from Greg with 2 G's. Get over yourself, insecure? ? I saw that from that guy this morning, and I was like, I'm gonna mute you. You're an idiot. Get out of my mention. So,
I don't know. He didn't even show up on my. He didn't even show up on my thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably because you have muted.
Muted or blocked. I don't know.
He's a bad account. Travis says, did I just hear you all say Robbie is the real Sir Yacht?
Oh,
Remember
am
him?
I?
Remember COVID?
Maybe. Yeah, I remember COVID.
Remember COVID?
The only thing I remember is Tiger King. That's all.
Mm.
That's all 2020
So
was.
you think like the further we get away from COVID, the first thing you'll think of will it be Tiger King?
I think so. I think that's what I'll associate the most. With
I'll probably
COVID.
associate work, just like the job, like
the
those
weird-
days.
Yeah.
You were in here for I think the day.
Oh, must have been
Yeah,
nice.
I was.
What?
I was just stuck
To
at my other
work?
job.
Oh,
Working.
Yeah, no, I was
my
here
less
the-
fun job at the time.
I was here the day they canceled the Creighton game at halftime. I was
Yes.
here right before that.
Were you still on the air when they canceled the College World Series, or was John on the air by then?
I think John had come back by then.
That was
Not this year. Not this year.
no, friends. We're looking in the past.
Yeah.
We're looking in the past.
We're
thinking back.
retrospective.
Member 2020.
Aaron and Papillion emails into the Equitable Bank inbox. The whitest thing you do when you go to work on the boat on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's pretty white.
It's a callback to last week.
Yeah, that's pretty
Got
white.
some of the responses to that one.
That got a lot of responses.
It did.
What is that? What is the whitest thing I do? Idiots. All right. Do we talk about Dylan Raiola too much?
No, I don't think we do.
All right. This topic's over.
It's
Can you remind me who Dylan Raiola is again?
we
full detail?
borderline maybe don't talk about him enough.
Listener Jeremy would disagree. Now, his handle on Twitter is JSkerHater. So I think you would agree with Jeremy on most things.
We may not
Jeremy's
have a lot
spoken.
in common.
But Jeremy tweet. So yesterday, if you missed it, Steve Sipple was on with us. He spoke to Dominic Raiola yesterday. Dominic Raiola. He's Dylan's dad.
Dom.
He sired him.
Uncle Dom.
No.
Also-
Uncle Don.
Oh, Uncle
This is
Don.
Father Don.
Donnie.
Papa Dom.
There you go.
Donnie and Dom.
A lot of D's, folks. But he spoke to him yesterday. He was told that Dylan Raiola will still be visiting Georgia the week before he visits Nebraska, because that's been a rumor all over the internet this week. He's not visiting. Apparently, Dominic thought it was pretty funny, so he corrected it. So I tweeted this because I was like, ooh, I'll tweet this out, get some information, get some likes and retweets, got some likes and retweets.
Yeah, there we go.
Jeremy responded at 12:04 a.m.
Midnight.
Who really cares at this point?
I think a lot of people.
The fact that multi-million-dollar institutions are at this kid's beck and call, and the fact that you guys still cover it is silly. Let the boy play football. Now, I want it known for the record.
Mm-hmm.
When I discuss where he will go to college, I'm not hoping he doesn't play football. Let the boy. I'm not affecting his ability to play football.
No, I think the assumption is that he will continue to play football regardless of the amount that we talk about him.
This is now the second criticism in as many days that a show on the station has received about let something happen. Yesterday on the Happer show, they were discussing, they were like looking ahead to next season, and someone was like, just let it play out. Like,
Do
let
people
the
not understand how sports talk radio works?
Sometimes I don't think they do. It's like, let the offseason play out.
Like, what would you like us to, you would like us to talk about February college baseball right now?
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, if we started doing that, the number of complaints we would get that we weren't talking about Husker football would be off the charts.
Obviously, they want to hear about Formula One preseason.
Little
testing.
behind the scenes here. Even when, so, you know, occasionally I will lead a show either on my own or with somebody else on these fine airwaves.
Yeah.
And if I put, even in the midst of deep February, early March, like peak college basketball times, if I put more than one segment in about college basketball, people lose their minds. They're like, talk more about Husker football.
Exactly.
Even though nothing has happened for months, nothing will happen for months.
On the field.
Nothing is going to happen on the field for months, and nothing has happened on the field for months. If you still don't devote probably about half the show to Husker football, people lose their minds.
Or you're really funny like we've been today, and doing one segment in the happy hour is A-okay with them. But we still did talk a lot of other football.
We still talk football, right?
Mhm.
You can get away a little bit from Husker football if you're still talking other football.
Sam says the Husker fans want wall-to-wall Creighton hoops, and that's why we deliver it to them on a day-to-day basis. So yesterday it was let it play out, which, I couldn't stop laughing when I heard.
It's just wild to me.
Let it play out. Well, okay. Do you just go to bars with friends and they're like, man, what do you guys think about Matt Rule? It's like, whoa, guys.
We don't know yet.
Let it play out.
We don't know
I don't
yet.
have an opinion. It's like the listener got super mad yesterday that the point spread is out for the Minnesota and Colorado games. It's like, it's just fun. It's novelty fun. So yesterday it was let it play out. Today it's let the boy play football.
Most of what
we are going to.
Most of what we do around sports is talk about it. The amount that we actually watch the thing that's happening is like,
it's minuscule.
10% of the actual things we talk about. That's the fun part about sports.
Robbie, even in like a baseball town like Boston, they still talk about baseball more than the baseball is actually played.
Yes.
Right? You know?
And
let alone in
even
a football place like here.
I mean, you want Boston's a great example because they not only have the Red Sox, which is huge, obviously. They have the Celtics, which is huge. They have the Bruins, which is huge. They have the Patriots,
forget about the
which
Patriots.
is huge. They have 4 teams that people are obsessed
I do
with.
forget they're in Boston.
And they still
Technically in
talk
Foxborough
about the things that are happening around it and not the actual games way more.
Yeah.
And that's when they've got wall-to-wall games basically all year.
So to go back to the original question, are we talking about Dylan Raiola too much?
No.
I actually think you're right.
I don't think we talk about him enough.
There's a so I think that like I'm in kind of one of two camps right now with in relation to talking about Dylan Raiola, and it's kind of dovetails into one that I wanted to ask you about, and that was have Husker fans let their guard down with Matt Rule, because I think with Dylan,
you think we trust him already?
Put a pin in that.
Is that what the guard down is? That
yes,
okay.
yeah. Put a pin in that. So with Dylan Raiola, I think that there is the two camps. One is like they're not getting him, stop it. The other is, man, I just don't want to be hurt.
They're not getting him, stop it is just a different version of the I just don't want to be hurt camp, because they're in denial, because this is a real thing.
They're going to get him.
Whether they get him or not, they're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't deny that. That's a real thing. They are in it for the number one player in the country and the highest rated quarterback recruit since Vince Young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They are deeply in it with that guy. So if you want to say they're not going to get him, you're just hedging your feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all that is. Then you have the other group, like you said, they just don't want to get hurt, which is just a different version of the first group.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of the same thing. They just react to it differently.
Kyle tweets and he says, I think people want stuff to quote unquote play out because fans feel duped by the info the last few years. Hype now scares people. So the funny thing though is yesterday when Happer and Josh were talking about things playing out, all they were doing was just discussing like their excitement level for
of like the
like what the game could be, and Nebraska and Colorado. It wasn't like they were like, "Oh, Nebraska 8-4.
Nebraska's going to kick their
no,
ass."
it was more just like, "Man, isn't football great?" I mean, really, the crux of the last couple of days has been, "Man, isn't football fun?" You know, and like, "Isn't it great?" And man, it'll be fun to watch football again. Shopping.
So here's why I say we actually probably don't talk about Dylan Raiola enough, because I do think Nebraska is I think he ends up here.
Yep.
Number one.
Yep.
B, even if he doesn't end up here, they're for sure in it at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So here's why I don't think we talk about it enough, because if Nebraska actually lands Dylan Raiola and he's even 80% as good as people think he is, Nebraska's probably got a top 10 class in 2024 because of all the peer recruiting, maybe even higher.
Yep.
I think they're going to have a smaller class. That's why I call it top 10, just because the pure numbers probably won't push it into the top 5. But that they're going to have an incredible class in 2024 if Dylan Raiola gets here or ends up committing. And then I don't think it's overstating it to say it can change the course of modern Nebraska football, and certainly of Matt Rule's tenure.
And you know what? I think when you say that, I think that's why.
That's what scares people.
It scares people because they're saying, guys, settle down. He hasn't even played a game yet. He hasn't even played a game of football as a senior in high school yet. So I think people hear that and they just are like, I don't want to live in this fantasy land. And that kind of goes to what Kyle said about not wanting the hype to play out. But I think that you are spot on in everything that you just said. Because I do think he represents the idea of what Nebraska football can be in the modern era now of college football, of what they can be in an era of 12-team playoffs,
and
in the
NIL.
era of NIL, in the era of the transfer portal, national recruiting.
Because all we've been told for 20 years is that Nebraska can't be that again, right? That's all we've heard.
He represents the potential promise of
and
that.
if Dylan Raiola, the number one player in the country, comes here.
Yeah, not number one quarterback.
Not just number one quarterback, the number one player in the country, and a historically well-graded player at that.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes here and brings all of his friends with him, all of a sudden that narrative is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, even because the built-in excuse of like, well, his dad played. Yeah, but he still had to choose.
He still had to choose here, and he could have gone anywhere he wanted.
Chose him over Georgia.
This wasn't this.
Chose him over Lincoln Riley.
This wasn't this under-the-radar prospect that turned into a star. Right? If Nebraska can land that guy, because here's the other thing that it creates. You mentioned Lincoln Riley. Why is Lincoln Riley a threat here? Because of his track record.
Yep.
Dylan Raiola can create the track record, right?
He could be a start of it.
He can start, which it starts somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley's track record started, was it Baker Mayfield? Was he the first of the group for Lincoln Riley?
because he was at East Carolina. He came to Oklahoma. Baker was his first guy.
His first guy.
Yeah.
If you start the track record, then other 5 stars that their dads didn't play here start looking and be like, holy crap, look what they did with Raiola.
Well, you said it.
Look how much money that guy made.
Yeah.
Look, he was drafted in the first round. He was a Heisman finalist. You get to all these things, and obviously none of this has happened yet.
Yeah.
But this is why you can't talk about Dylan Raiola enough, because if it works out with him, all of a sudden, Nebraska's playing in a totally different end of the pool.
And I would say this to listener Jeremy and anyone else who thinks like Jeremy does. And if you do, that's fine. If you find the hype or the discussion about him nauseating now, if he commits
and you still have another year and a half before he even gets here.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, it's going to make for quite the discussion, because there's never been anything like this. Like, there have been hyped players. There have been ballyhooed players. There have been hyped quarterbacks. This would be the most unique discussion of a player out of high school.
Well, especially in the current media climate, where with the social media and all the recruiting sites and all this stuff, there certainly hasn't been a guy like that since all of that started.
There's never been anything like this. And you can go back as far as you want, as recent as you want. There's never been anything like this.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this real quick, and we'll get to predictions. And John did send in his predictions
finally
like 1 minute ago.
Come
Thanks,
on,
John.
man.
It only took until 5:12. Have Husker fans let their guard down with Matt Rule? Because I've heard people bring up this question lately of like, do you think people are genuinely excited for the Matt Rule era, or is it still kind of that, I don't really know how to feel. He's an outsider. He's not one of us. Not to mention following the guy who was one of us, who was much ballyhooed, who was super hyped. Do you think that fans, like, has the view of him changed in, it's basically been 3 months now since he got hired. What are you hearing from fans? What do you think that they're feeling about him
Here's
right
what
now?
I think we learned about one of us. You use that term, right?
Yeah. And that's what Frost was.
And I think, well, he wasn't, though. He was born here. But really, the way he operated, the way he carried himself, the way he treated the program, he wasn't one of us. Just because, and this is what this is my point. This is what I think we learned about Matt Rule. Matt Rule feels more like one of us than Scott Frost ever did.
Yeah.
As the actual coach.
Yeah, he does.
Because Scott Frost, even though he was born here, even though he won a national championship as a player here, the way he operated didn't feel like one of us.
Always a distance, right?
It was always, and there was always at arm's length. There was always, 25 years ago, I was the most hated player in the state. I got benched. There was always a resentment there.
Yeah.
Almost like he was trying to prove everyone wrong and wanted to keep everyone at arm's length and not really be one of us.
Yeah.
Matt Rule immediately embraced Nebraska.
And he's continued to do it.
And that's what he does. I mean, in his opening press conference, he's like, you're going to see me out in restaurants and whatever, and you're going to see me out with my family.
Dude, he's going to all these sporting events of teams way down on the totem pole.
He feels more a part of this community, just Nebraska community, than Scott Frost ever did.
Yeah.
Scott Frost always felt at a distance from us. And despite being born here, despite being raised here, Matt Rule feels more one of us, part of us, I think, than Scott Frost ever did, which is why I think Nebraska fans have let their guard down, as you put it. I just put it, trust him.
Yeah.
Feels like they trust him.
It'll be interesting to see now. Essentially, we're 6 months away from the opener.
I'll say now games. Have to happen.
Like I'm excited to see what happens when him and the other coaches are speaking on a day-to-day basis, when we're hearing from the players about spring ball in a month, when we're hearing from the players about what they think of the new coaching staff. And then, of course, the summer will come and that usual buildup of hype and excitement that will follow. Jordan writes on YouTube, they probably think that by talking about it, you'll jinx it like you did Nebraska baseball. Basically everything we thought. And then he adds about Dylan, basically everything we thought D-line recruiting would be after suit. Yeah.
Here was the problem with that is Bo Pelini was a trash recruiter.
Yeah. And I don't think this staff will be.
No, that's what they hang their hat on, putting in the work and finding guys.
It's funny. On one hand, you say like, man, I just wonder how cool it'd be to land a 5-star quarterback, number one player in the country. In my opinion, I'm almost more intrigued by what happens next.
Who else comes?
Yeah, just like, hey, they got this 5-star wide receiver, an offensive lineman follows.
I'll say
that stuff is where I think it gets really
it's the
wild.
ripple effects of Dylan Rayola. That's why I am convinced it ends up being a top 10 class.
Because you think people follow.
I think people go with him.
Number one player in the country. Why wouldn't you want to play with him?
Especially if you're a wide receiver.
Yeah, and we keep talking 24. What happens with the 25 class? What if he,
especially if he plays well? Let's say he plays well in 24.
I want to go play
and
with
you're
that
the
guy.
number one receiver in 25.
They outperform people.
And you're like, let's go hang out with Dylan Rayola, who's a Heisman favorite going into a sophomore or whatever, right? Like if it goes well, I mean, look at the hype that was around Adrian Martinez after his freshman year.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much greater it will be with a guy that is frankly more talented?
Yeah.
I mean, whether it works out or not.
And if the wins are there too.
Yes. Imagine. So let's say they go 6-6 this year. That would be a lofty goal, I think, for this year to make a bowl game.
Yep.
And then Dylan Rayola comes in. And then let's say they go
8-4.
8-4. All of a sudden,
yeah,
you're like, okay, year 3 Rule, that's where it takes off.
Yeah, you're cooking
year
with
2, 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
We already went 8-4. Things are going to get wild around here if that's how it plays out. And listen, it's more fun to think about the positives that could happen versus the disaster.
And we'll close the segment with this. Travis says, who wants to discuss the potential for success? Not me. Imagine if success comes. Yuck. That's kind of what I hear when other people are like, why are you guys discussing this?
Yeah, when I think about the what ifs and the future and whatever,
you want to have it this way.
I
don't want to be like, man, what happens if Mike McCarthy fails next year? No, I want to dream.
I want to
dream.
I understand that Trey Lance might be terrible.
He might be.
I get that.
His legs just wobbling.
I understand that
your quarterback's arms wobbling.
Dylan Raiola
He's not very purdy.
makes the smart business decision and goes to USC so he can win a Heisman and be the number one pick in 3 years. Like, I get that that's all on the table, but why think about that when you've got this whole other universe that could exist?
Trent says, perfectly said. And before that, he adds, Rockport, Missouri, on the way to cheer competition for my daughter in KC, and the 1620 The Zone signal is strong. We love to hear that.
Wow.
That's fun. And then Jed, finally, before we go to break, it's funny that you guys say that Rule feels like one of us when one of his hashtags literally is one of us, hashtag OOU.
There we go.
I wasn't even trying to do that.
I wasn't either.
All right, we return. Predictions. We have John's predictions. We'll see if he's an idiot or not.
Probably.
Also, he did have a good first week. We'll do that. And content.
Maybe.
So One Beer Friday, let us know what you are drinking as the weekend arrives. Our friend Alyssa from Power 106.9, she came in and stole one of our beers. Just kidding. She asked permission. We gave her one. So
delicious.
Let us know. Yeah, we're all enjoying it. It's spring and or summer in the Zone studios right now. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Friday evening forecast will include clearing skies with temperatures cooling into the mid to lower teens. I'm tracking a morning low of 10 degrees around daybreak Saturday. For your Saturday morning to the early afternoon, a lot of sunshine and temperatures rapidly warming into the mid to upper 40s. By the afternoon, I'm tracking a high of 47 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like a crash has the right lane blocked on Blair High Road near 680. It's got stop-and-go traffic back from 90th. Also stop-and-go traffic on eastbound I-80 between 84th and 72nd. If you're west on Dodge, delays between 680 and 120th. And also it looks like a few delays on L Street for both directions around the JFK. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $908 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a pitch or run scored. 2023 season tickets include in-state rivals Creighton and Nebraska. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS. That's 402-554-MAVS.
Attention. This is a special alert for all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an overpriced auto warranty or no warranty coverage at all. Due to the increase of new and used car prices, repair costs, and the price of gas, people are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could save thousands on future auto repairs. Our specialists are standing by for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-801-1713. Vehicle Protection Plan pricing is at an all-time low. Plus, drivers who purchase this coverage today will receive rental car options, free roadside assistance, and free towing. Call 800-801-1713 now for your free quick quote. That's 800-801-1713. What do you have to lose? Call 800-801-1713. Again, 800-801-1713.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
We'll go right.
The 1620
20. The Zone.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. What in the world? This is not content.
So I'll do predictions in a second.
We're
I just
not
figured
doing
if we're not going to
content.
get content, I
We're
might
not
as well
doing
get the
it.
open in.
Wow.
I just wanted to get the open in.
All right, play the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for predictions.
Over, bet the over. Vikings in the over.
To defend Nick, though, he was coughing up a storm
I
because of
almost
something
died.
Ravi said during the
Don't
break.
worry about it.
Don't say that close to coming back, Rob.
I honestly didn't realize how close we were to coming back from break there. So
Oh,
my bad.
he said.
My bad.
Last week in predictions. Now, Ravi, I feel bad. I didn't add up your.
Thanks a lot.
I know, so I don't have your standings.
Just assume I went undefeated.
That's what we'll do. Ravi went 14-0. John went 9-5. John started off horribly.
Call John Dolly.
Why'd you turn off
I
your
don't know.
mic when
9
you
to
said
5.
that? Just
I
leave
had
it
to
on,
burp.
Nick. Just
I
leave
had
it
to
on.
burp.
Oh, okay. Nick went 7-7. He's the 2002 Nebraska of predictions.
7.
I went 5-9.
I'm still your
Friends.
two-time champion, though.
Friends, not very good.
Allegedly.
Not very good.
No, it was. We
No,
had the,
allegedly.
we had the
That
score.
said, John is giving up an entire point this week, and you will see why in just a moment. It is time for predictions. We begin this week with the XFL.
Oh.
We didn't
Folks,
have the XFL last week for some
I
reason.
would have picked the Battlehawks.
That was my fault. I forgot to include it this week.
Big Battlehawk.
I
guy.
was
I kinda am.
scrolling. I was scrolling on the FanDuel Sportsbook promo code 1620. Thank you, Nick. And I was like, "Well, there's a team called the DC Defenders," and I had a lot of jokes that came to mind, but I decided not to make any of them. But I decided to include them in predictions.
Stick to sports.
The Defenders are 3.5-point dogs at the Vegas Vipers. John went with the Defenders. I'm going with the Vipers.
It's snakes on the plane.
Well, not. Well, they're probably on a plane to get to the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vipers.
The Viper boys. So John is the only one who is going with the Defenders. One NBA game on the docket this week.
I love a docket.
We have the Miami Heat
Docket boys.
plus 1.5 at the Bucks tonight. What do you think, Robbie, before we predict this game, about the love that some people give the Heat based
The Kevin Love?
Yes. Based entirely off of like postseason success, and they've been, hit and miss this year. Like, are they a team to be afraid of if you're in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, they have some pieces that I like. I just don't look at them and say, hey, that's one of the top 4 teams in the East. So, I mean, could they maybe go on a run if Kevin Love reverts back to like 2010 version of like Minnesota Kevin Love?
Time
Sure.
traveling, maybe?
Yeah, if he time travels back,
Time
sure.
traveling?
They get Jera.
But I don't. I think they give too much organizational credit considering what the roster is.
So do you like the Bucks?
I'm going Bucks. Yeah.
John is also going Bucks.
I think I want the Heat.
Nick wants the Heat. So Nick goes against us. This is the one where John is just going to give up a point. So I said the PGA Honda Classic.
Yeah, I got to bring up the
Go
Just
golf.
all you got to do, Ravi, is click the link. It's not that difficult.
Oh, you put a link in there?
Yeah,
I put a link in
what
there.
a good guy.
Yeah,
Click the link.
I do what I can.
I'm clicking links here.
So John gave
Not
us
that link.
in the Honda Classic. Yes, good call. He gave us Big Mr. Sue, Gil Gerard, and Kevin Garnett. So John says, screw your point. I don't want it. I hope that it costs him immensely. This is a never mind. Okay, so I have to write down Justin Sue, Ryan Gerard. Who was the other one he said? Oh, Bryce Garnett. All right. So John he gave us some names.
Not Kevin Garnett. That's
Not
that's
Kevin
a different
Garnett.
guy.
This weekend, I'll be honest, in the PGA Tour, this thing sucks.
Oh,
It's not a good list.
I'm
It's
glad
just
you
not
picked it.
It's not, well, Nick, it's golf and it's February 24th.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of like A-listers here.
Thank you. Nick, who are you going with?
Give me Chris Kirk. Going back to the Star Trek earlier.
Ooh, like Charlie?
Sure.
Charlie Kirk?
Or like James T.
Wow, Nick, I didn't
James
realize
T,
you-
but also Chris
I
Pine.
realize you were a Charlie Kirk guy. His tiny face.
I don't know who this is.
Oh, well.
I'm unfamiliar.
I'm happy that you agree to that. You're going to hate it when I tell you during the break. Keep
Oh,
going.
no.
Yep.
Ben Taylor and Shane Lowry.
Lowry Salt?
That's a normal name. You should be able to pronounce that.
No, you.
Lowry.
No you.
There's not a U in Lowry.
Who are your picks?
Nice question, Nick.
Give me Ben Martin.
Oh, same.
I want Bryce Garrett.
Wow.
And
That's Garnett like John. You're basically riding with John right now.
Oh,
Ride or die.
I got to get off of that train.
I stand with John.
Give me Sepp Straka.
All right, he did not pick him. I'm going to go with Sue. They're not saying boo.
Boy named?
They're saying Sue.
Nice.
I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Zach Taylor, a.k.a. Ben Taylor. And I will also go with Ben Martin. All right, as I wrote in predictions, cars go drivey drive, vroom, vroom.
What are you going to do when we get Formula One in here?
Cars that crash and don't pass each other.
They pass sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Pass sometimes.
What do we got?
That's
Nick?
what John would say about basketball. They pass
They
sometimes.
pass sometimes. Nick, what is what's the tournament this weekend?
The Paula Casino 400.
Is that any good?
I stopped watching.
Wait, I thought we were
NASCAR a while
doing
ago.
NASCAR.
That's
Are we
also a
not
new
doing?
No, we're doing
sponsor.
NASCAR.
Okay.
It's called the Pelican.
Let me see what track that. Oh, yeah, they're in Fontana. That's a good track.
Okay, cool. It's a good track.
Sure. Yeah.
John
I
likes
love it.
Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Blaney. Ravi?
I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott.
Okay.
I want to go with Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
And I'm sticking with my guy, Bubba Wallace.
Hell yeah. You and I are Tyler Reddick boys. I'm also going to go with Will Byron. And let's go with Denny Hamlin.
Give me Marty Trucks, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell.
All right. Now we can move on to, well, I was going to say the real sports, but it's time to get to boxing first. So Jake Paul and Tommy Fury are fighting this weekend.
Yeah.
Do you care about Jake Paul?
I don't. Not enough to watch it. I'm a little curious because I do think he has real power just based on what we've seen. Because he's kind of knocked some people out.
He like doesn't lose.
He's also been very strategic about who he fights, so I understand that. I'm gonna go.
Does he still do problematic content on the internet?
I don't know, or is that his brother? I forget.
Both of them suck.
Okay.
They both suck.
They went to the forest.
They both suck.
Okay, fair enough.
They've sucked before the forest. They'll suck after the forest.
John likes problematic boy. I do too, by the way.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tommy Fury.
Oh, Nick.
I want Tommy Fury to beat his face to a pulp.
All right. Nick's very violent.
The Furies.
I'm
aren't-
anti-Paul.
The Furies aren't unproblematic for what it's worth, but I am gonna go Fury here.
Paul like the apostle?
No, like Jake and Logan.
All right. We are in Lent now, Nick, so just remember that as we keep on rolling.
R.I.P.
Time to get to soccer. Got a couple soccer matches. I was looking for the close ones. Of course, we begin with the EPL, which is the best league in America. Well, actually, the world.
The world, yeah.
My bad. West Ham versus Nottingham Forest. Nick?
Nottingham.
Yeah, we're the Nottingham boys. I like that. It's a fun name.
It is a fun name. Peter Pan vibes there for sure.
Yep.
Not Peter Pan. Robin Hood. Robin Hood vibes.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm going West Ham.
You're a ham guy. John, also a ham guy. All right, play the stupid open, Nick.
There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It could be.
La Liga!
La Liga! That's Spanish for the Liga.
La Liga!
Today, we are breaking down the matchup, and by breaking down, I mean picking it and moving on as quickly as possible, between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. I remember, Ravi, like a decade ago, these two teams played for the Champions League.
Yeah.
And it went into extra time, and Real Madrid scored like 4 goals in extra time. So it was 1-1, and then they won 5-1. I was very mad.
It's strange.
One of my friends was very happy because he's a Real Madrid fan.
Yeah.
That's who John is picking. I am also going to go with Real Madrid. Nick.
Give me the Real Madrid.
All right. And Robbie.
Yeah, I'm going to go Real Madrid
All
as
right.
well.
Well, all right. We're all doing that. All right. Let's get to some hoops. Got some big games this weekend,
What the
man.
hoop gonna be?
Save the local ones for later. Texas, a pickup. Now, I did a bunch of Ken Palm lines.
Mhm.
So what John normally does, by the way, and I'm following him. I'm following his lead.
Mhm.
I'm going to scroll, though, and see if any of these are available. Oh, thank God they are. Oh, John already gave his picks. Oh, well. So I look at the Ken Palm rankings, and then I add 2 points for the home team.
Okay.
Give them the home court advantage. But
Okay.
I do have a Creighton line. Wow, we are way off on this one.
I was going to say 7 seems really high.
It's just that was what the Ken Palm was. We begin with Texas. The real line is Texas as 2.5 point underdogs against Baylor. But we have it as a pick 'em because of Ken Palm. Maybe I should have waited until the lines came out. Either way, Ravi.
I've got Baylor.
So does John.
Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting 2.5 free points, maybe I shouldn't even look at the other ones because that will.
It's gonna make you mad.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you mad.
Let's move to I believe this is a prime time game tomorrow night in the Big Ten on Fox. Indiana 10-point dogs according to Ken Palm. Screw it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Just look them up.
Oh, we don't have the Purdue line. All right, cool. That one's not out yet. Purdue hosting Indiana. Purdue -10. Nick. Choo choo.
Boiler up.
Boiler up. Honk honk.
I'm going to take Indiana to cover. I think Purdue wins, but I think Indiana covers.
That's what John's doing. I'm going to agree with you two because you're the basketball boys. Another line that is not out there officially, but the Ken Palm line says St. Mary's and Gonzaga is a pick'em. This game is at Gonzaga. John is going with Gonzaga. I am as well. Give me the home team.
Yeah, in that situation, I want Gonzaga.
Gonzaga is a fun word to say.
All right. It definitely is. And their shorts were really cool at Shields back in the day.
They were, yeah.
A couple prop bets before we get to the games for Nebraska and Creighton. We begin with a Creighton prop bet. Baylor Shireman, over or under 13.5 points. He's been kind of up and down. There's been a lot of takes about him lately. There was an article, by the way, today in The Athletic by CJ Moore. He's going to join us on Monday. We're going to talk about Baylor Shireman and more from college hoops. John's going over. I am going under.
I'm going to take the over. I think he breaks out this weekend.
Under.
Nice
Why
job.
did I turn it off?
I don't
Nick,
know, man.
I ask you that
I don't
every
know.
time.
I don't know.
One more prop bet.
I don't know.
Keisei Tominaga. Last couple weeks, we've gone with points scored.
Yeah.
Today, though, we'll go with 3-pointers made. I set the total at 3.5, essentially kind of the average he's had in this stretch of really good basketball. John is going with the over. Ravi?
I'm also going over. I think he gets 5.
Oh, I like the over.
Oh!
Wow. I like the over.
Wow, we're all the over boys then because I have the over as well. Let's see if we have a Nebraska line in real life. We do not just yet. The Ken Palm line says Minnesota is a 12-point underdog in Lincoln, Nebraska, and John likes the Skurs.
I like Minnesota to cover. I do think Nebraska wins.
Wow, hater.
I said they win. 12 points is a lot, man.
It is a lot of points.
Maybe this rest period that they just had was enough to knock them off of their momentum.
Oh, God. Are you going with Minnesota?
Give me Minnesota.
Is the wrong team favored?
Wrong team favored.
Oh, God.
Look who's the hater now. I still think Nebraska's going to win.
Yeah, you're a jerk, Nick. That's the rudest thing you've done today.
Sorry.
I'm going with Nebraska. I think that they played well. I think they put together just a great performance. Wire to wire, roll the Gophers.
All right.
And finally, Creighton, 7-point favorites at Villanova. This is according to Ken Palm. The real line
That number's too high.
Yeah, it's 3.5. John went with Villanova. I am as well. I actually think Villanova is going to win.
Are we going real line or our
We
line?
have to go with the fake line because John already picked.
Villanova's definitely covering 7.
Champagne Supernova.
Champagne Villanova.
Yeah.
In the sky. Do you think Villanova wins?
I don't know. I don't. If Creighton wins, it's not going to be by 7. I'm pretty confident in that. This game is basically a coin flip to me.
Yeah.
So if you're giving me 7 free points, I'm definitely taking them.
All right, there you go. I gave you 7 free points. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
See, this college basketball should be more like college football, where the lines are available all week and the sport is football.
Well, the problem is you play
or
much
racing.
more frequently, so how you perceive teams changes on a more day-to-day basis.
Not a big deal.
It feels like a big deal.
Just update them on a day-to-day
Well, you
basis.
know,
Hey, we have a line for next week. Look ahead lines.
Look ahead lines, maybe. I don't know.
All right. When we return, we will get to Unsportsmanlike content, something that I
Maybe.
promised. No, I promised it.
What does that mean?
I promised it.
So who cares?
Wow. All right. Nick's going to read some questions. We're going to give him some answers.
You didn't even send me the content.
I'm sending it
today.
next on 1620 The Zone.
You can experience the Woodhouse difference and shop with confidence at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. The Chevy Silverado 1500, the strength to take on what's next. With a multi-flex tailgate, 6 different functions, plus Super Crew drive assist technology, if I can say it right, and advanced trailering system, that makes the haul that much easier. Plus, you get 9 unique trims to choose from. You can customize that Chevy Silverado to suit your needs. And right now at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, get 2.99% APR financing on a 2022 Chevy Silverado with approved credit. But you need to act now because this offer expires February 28th. See Woodhouse Chevy's entire line of Silverados and schedule that test drive online at woodhousegm.com. You can also value your trade, fill out the credit app, chat with their knowledgeable, friendly staff. You can almost do the entire car buying experience right there online at woodhousegm.com, or just visit them. Find new roads to Woodhouse Chevy just off I-29, exit 75 in Missouri Valley, or woodhousegm.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Do you know a high school senior who'd like a $12,000 college scholarship? Well, be sure to tell them that the Salvation Army is now seeking nominations for the DJ's Hero Award Scholarships. We're looking for Nebraska high school seniors who have overcome adversity and who are doing the most good in their communities. The application deadline is March 8th. Nominate your hero today. Just go to djsheroapp.org for more information. That's djsheroapp.org. djsheroapp.org.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Your 13th ranked Omaha Maverick hockey team is third in the NCHC and has secured home ice for the playoffs for the first time since the opening of Baxter Arena. Because of you, Maverick fans, they're fourth in the nation in attendance. Get your tickets now for the final home series and senior weekend against number 5 St. Cloud on February 24th and 25th, and for the playoffs on March 10th and 11th. Let's rock the Baxter. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or at omavs.com/tickets.
Welcome to the Rib Shack, where Miss Jackie, voted best female pitmaster, prepares the true Southern taste of down-home barbecue and soul food. The Rib Shack was first established in St. Louis and is now in Omaha. The Rib Shack Smokehouse offers the slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, smoked wings, brisket, pulled pork, and fabulous sides. They even offer catering. Rib Shack on the southwest corner of 108th and Q Street, or on the web at ribshacksmokehouse.com. Rib Shack Smokehouse, bringing that unique Southern taste to Omaha.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Content that's unsportsmanlike. We promised it all show long. Some doubted this moment would arrive.
I don't know who.
Those people are idiots.
Yeah, morons.
It's time for some unsportsmanlike content when we turn over the microphone to Nick and he tries to say athletes' names and he sometimes struggles with
What
them.
could go
It's true.
wrong?
Let's find out right now.
Which 5 teams in the NBA are most likely to pick up a title this season? I assume this is for you, Robbie.
Well, it's for everybody.
Too, Nick.
Yeah, it's for everybody involved, I think.
5 is basically the number of teams that you said can win a basketball championship in college.
Well, I mean, if 5 and 6 are the same thing, which they're not. All right, we're gonna go Celtics, Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Well, you all right there?
I still want the Celtics.
I don't. You said most likely. You didn't say what I want.
I know.
I'd love it if the Warriors could do it, but they've been trash.
People do.
Curry's hurt.
Yeah. Sorry.
Celtics, Bucks, Suns, Nuggets.
Let's go.
And I'm gonna say.
We're gonna agree or disagree on the last one.
I am gonna say Clippers.
Whoa, we will. You know what, man? Give me the Sixers.
I don't believe in James Harden. That's why I went away.
I know, but give me the Sixers.
That's the only reason I didn't
Give
pick
me the Sixers.
No, I won't. That's the only reason I didn't pick the Sixers is I was like,
Yeah, I know. He sucks in the playoffs.
he's the worst, and
Yeah.
I don't believe in him.
Yeah. I
Now,
know.
since he's not the best player on the team, it might change things, but never know.
Yeah.
Speaking of the NBA,
I don't feel good about the Clippers, just for the record. I feel good about the first four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what the
4 is the number.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for interrupting me, Robbie.
Hey, listen, we're having a conversation. You interrupted us.
Speaking of the NBA, Josh's Lakers picked up a big win over Ravi's Warriors last night. People forget.
I mean, it's not a big win for either of us because neither of them are really in contention.
Hey, let him finish the question, interrupt boy.
Is LA making the play-in game?
Hell yeah, they are. They're on their way, Ravi. This is a team with LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Remember LeBron James?
Who?
So his name is LeBron James.
I'm not familiar with him.
So he was on a
Is he
Sports
a coach?
Illustrated cover in 2002. I had that cover. That was my
Did you?
first ever SI as a subscriber that I got as a Christmas gift from my parents.
Nice.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. The Chosen One. You know who wrote that? Grant Wall, R.I.P.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, tough one.
Anyway, yeah, sure. Why not? Why not us?
Because they're bad. No,
That would explain it.
I actually think they made a lot of nice moves at the deadline.
Made 69 of them, so it makes sense.
Nice.
I think it was fewer than that. Getting rid of Russell Westbrook, maybe the
69.
most important one. I
Yeah.
think Rui Hachimura's nice player there. So yeah, I'll say they make the playing game.
Let's go.
Josh's favorite billionaire,
No,
Jeff
that's not what you
Bezos,
wrote,
has
Nick.
hired an investment firm to examine the possibility of a bid of the Washington Commanders. That makes sense. Do you guys think that Josh's favorite billionaire would be a good NFL owner? Josh Peterson for Jeff Bezos.
I would never say that. I would never say such a thing.
I mean, he can't be worse than Daniel Snyder, right?
That's definitely
kind of
true.
the thing.
Yep.
That's a very low bar.
The fans would like him immediately because he's not Daniel Snyder.
Yes.
Yeah, they maybe learn about some of his monstrosities, but at least he's not Daniel
It's different
Snyder.
monstrosities,
Different
though.
monstrosities. That's true.
New is
Are we
always
allowed to
better.
pee in the bathroom? That is what the fans would want to know. Do we have to bring bottles of water in to use the restroom with?
All fans are required to show up 2 hours before a game to build some things.
There you go. Yeah. Congrats on your season tickets. Also,
you
need
also
to
have a new job.
You have to deliver items for Amazon Prime tomorrow.
Wherever your house is, there's going to be a route along the way to the stadium. You have to drop off packages on the way to the stadium.
That would be incredible. He'd be okay. He'd be better than Snyder. He wouldn't be as good as the best owners.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley's thinking about having a show on CNN. Would you watch that?
No.
Definitely. Have you seen his?
I barely listen. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I barely like him on Inside the NBA.
He's too old now. He's just old, not old as I'm not an ageist. He's just old man yells at cloud all
He's
the time.
a little out. He's out of touch.
Yeah, for sure.
He's pretty out of touch. I think he's been out of touch for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the guy that was like a jump shooting team will never win the NBA.
And then that's
finals.
all the champions.
And then the Warriors just dominated people
he
for the
just
next 5
doesn't
years.
like basketball anymore.
Yeah, and so I'm not. I think Barkley's interesting as kind of a person.
Sure.
I don't care to listen to him very often.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't want to watch no news.
No.
I'm trying to watch cable news.
Come on, news.
Yeah.
Although you do have cable now.
People forget.
Big cable boy.
Mm-hmm.
People forget, but Lent is back.
Folks,
you two going to give up anything for the next month and change?
I'm not Catholic, so no.
Same. Nick, you're a lapsed Catholic.
I was confirmed Lutheran.
Oh.
I said Catholicism last week, but I meant what was
Scientology?
No.
Oh, that
That's
makes sense.
what
That
catechism. Last week I said Catholicism when I meant catechism.
Mm.
I was confirmed Lutheran though.
Okay. I don't know what any of those things mean, but you will not be
but
giving
no,
up
I'm not
anything.
giving up anything for
It's,
life.
I gave
it's
up
not
fast-
a thing we did.
I gave up. So I'm not Catholic, as I just said. I gave up fast food once though for Lent.
Yeah, I never really have done that. It's just not a thing I've ever really done.
Yeah.
But, congrats to those who celebrate.
I remember being annoyed by it in school growing up.
Wow, geez,
because they'd always
respect religion.
Well, they'd always mess with the lunch menu, and then
It
there
was
was never another
fish
option.
on Fridays.
It was always fish on
I had
Fridays and
chicken
no meat.
today.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I had pastrami.
Nice. I had
Yeah.
thighs, and I'm going to have a ham sandwich at home.
I had a slice of za.
Noise.
Yeah, Nick had some za.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Speaking of Lent, the Jerusalem Post put out a headline earlier this week titled, Corgi-sized meteor as heavy as 4 baby elephants hits Texas. NASA.
Wait.
Good or bad headline?
Wait.
That's
So
how
it's
they use
Corgi-sized meteor as heavy as 4 baby elephants.
So it's
hits
small, but it
Texas.
packs a
very
punch.
dense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dense AF.
Incredibly dense.
It's like how you eat a peanut, and there's just a lot of calories in there for such a small.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like an
So-
avocado, if you will.
There you go. So look, I mean, as a country, maybe we've struggled with, the metric system or like 5 foot. Like, I feel like we know what 5 feet is. I props to the Jerusalem Post for this headline. I think it's creative.
I appreciate the effort. I think there's probably something that weighs the same amount as 4 baby elephants that they could have just said a corgi-sized.
How much does a baby elephant weigh?
Yeah, let's figure this out.
200 to 250 pounds. So basically,
So
we're talking
1,000
about
pounds.
1,000 pounds. What's that?
Yeah.
Half a ton?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a calf.
1,000 pounds.
See, but nobody knows what half of a ton.
That's a
is.
calf, though.
No, but you could be
I
like,
don't know if
you
I
could
don't
pick
know
a
what a
different
calf
animal,
is.
Like
You could
a
say
cow, a baby cow?
10 dogs?
No, I just
Like
want
a
one
year-old cow.
animal, like a corgi-sized meteor that weighs as much as a gorilla is about to hit Texas.
A cocaine bear.
Yeah, a cocaine bear, if you will.
There you go. Steve wants to know, so murder cultists aren't required to give up stuff for Lent. Absolutely not.
No, I mean, what are you going to give up? Murder? You can't give up murder for Lent if you're in a murder cult. What does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Come on.
Last one, Nick.
Succession is on its last legs. One of Josh's favorite shows, and one John is currently watching, will end its run after this upcoming season, the 4th. Josh,
Nick,
how you feeling, bud?
I'm actually okay with this news. I like it when creators say, I have a story and it's a finite story and I want to tell the ending.
Yeah.
I'm good with this.
I like it. Yeah.
I love Succession. I can't wait to watch it. John should be caught up by the season premiere. We'll
Can't
be able
wait to
talk
see
about
how
on
it
Monday.
ends.
Are you a Succession guy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I watch it every week.
Nick's watching The Crown, so he won't have any takes on
I'll
it.
watch it eventually.
I'm
It's on my
also
list.
watching The Crown. You can watch more than one
I
thing.
got Ravi
You
back into
can
the
watch
crowd.
more than one thing.
No,
People forget.
I multitask so much at work when I go home.
Oh,
I literally
I
just don't want.
I mean,
to
you don't have to
multitask.
put it on 2 screens simultaneously.
No, I
Nick.
get
that.
that.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't have the brain space anymore to just consume 2 different pieces of the same media at once.
You can do it, Nick. I believe in you.
I don't want to.
It's very
Jordan says,
strange.
dang, an 800-pound corgi-sized rock. Indeed. And then Sky says, that headline still makes more sense in the metric system. Hashtag USA. Sky, I'll add this. Hashtag miracle. All right, we'll come back. We'll do bet of the day. We will say bye-bye. And, well, I mean, you're back tomorrow, so you won't say bye-bye.
Yeah,
I mean, you will.
I'll be back in
Breakfast with Robbie.
I don't
wow,
know.
like 16 hours.
Like 15, 16 hours.
Wow,
Yeah.
sleep well. You should probably get to bed right now.
I got
we have a couch in the basement. Just crash there.
I have napped on there before between shows.
Oh, nice.
The basement couch.
Yeah, I have.
Bet of the day is next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball. Single game tickets are on sale now for the entire season. All home games are played at Maverick Park. The baseball team plays Creighton on March 7th and Nebraska on April 25th. And the softball team plays Nebraska on March 15th and Creighton on March 22nd. Season tickets for baseball and softball are also still available by calling 402-554-MAVS. Get your single game tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tigs.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun.
They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
My, how time flies. Nick Handley here for my friends at DJ's Dugout. Did you know DJ's is celebrating its 30-year anniversary? Yep, everyone at DJ's Dugout says thank you, Omaha Metro, for your amazing support since 1993. DJ's truly loves the communities they serve, and it's an honor to serve you, friends and guests, for so many years. Here's to another 30 years. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran-owned. Dig in at the Dugout.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Jelly Roll Backroad Baptism Tour. Friday, August 25th, CHI Health Center. One night with Jelly Roll. Live and special guests Ashley McBride and Struggle Jennings. On sale now at livenation.com. For more, visit jellyroll615.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
John doesn't have the good tongue skills, I guess.
On 1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you?
Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by Peerless Energy Systems.
Thank you, Peerless Energy Systems, for today's bet of the day. Yesterday in bet of the day, John was a loser. In Wichita State on the money line. I was a winner, though. I had the Nuggies on the money line. Nick also a winner. He had the Nuggets and the Magic. He won $194 fake dollars.
Nice.
I got a 2-team cross league parlay, if you will. I'm going to go hoops, but I'm going to go college and pro. Give me the Bucks tonight on the money line versus the Heat. Give me the Villanova Wildcats tomorrow on the money line. Plus 240. Let's go, Wildcats.
Hater.
Nick?
Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves, Padilla's Phoenix Suns, and Ravi's Golden State Warriors.
Nice.
That is plus 110.
Oh, wow. Some huge
3
favorites
teams.
there. Wow, all right.
I want the Sacramento Kings on the money line plus 220.
Who are they playing?
Clippers.
The bet of the day brought to you by Peerless Energy Systems.
Peerless. I got to build back up. Then I can start making the dumb, crazy butts. That's kind of my strategy, right?
Dumb, crazy butts?
Whoops. Make smart bets, and then when I have enough equity saved up, I'll just do something crazy.
Nick is up almost $1,000 again. He's doing a very good job.
Nice.
Coming up this weekend, as we mentioned, you will be hosting Blue Jay Shoot Around tomorrow morning at 9.
Brekkie with Ravi.
That's what people tell me.
Until 10:30. No, that's what you will be doing. We're not telling you.
I mean, you're actually doing it. It's on the schedule.
You can't make me.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Good point. Good point. So Ravi will be on that
Make
tomorrow.
Chance do it. He'll be here.
He'll be off at 10:30, and then John will have pregame coverage live from the arena. And
Yeah,
the
do a
game
little pregame show.
Also on
at 11.
1019 The Keg. People forget.
Oh, yeah.
My
listen to it.
show's not on 101.
One person in the studio literally forgot about that.
But Creighton basketball
Yes.
with John Bishop.
The
is
John
on
Bishop
1019
coverage.
The Keg.
Sports are taking
1019
over.
The Zone.
And it sounds. Say it one more time.
1019 The Zone.
Oh!
Sounds so good.
Coming up Monday, Jack Mitchell, Mitch Sherman. Also, CJ Moore. He'll talk about his Baylor Shireman piece, college basketball, and a whole lot more. Dude, next week is the last week of the regular season.
It is.
And we're going to have conference tournaments. Yeah! Oh, my gosh. It's your
What's
favorite
that
time of
noise?
year.
Great time
what do
of
you
year.
mean, what's that
That's
noise?
like the second time he's made that.
That's
I
the third,
love
at
it.
least.
Who was his name? What was that guy's name?
It was something Dean.
Yeah, Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
Yeah!
Nick.
Yeah!
Bye.